Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby. Let me see what we gonna do. Let me see. Come in, do this every time I get on here. I'm gonna say society. That's what I'm gonna do. Society. All right. Divine. What's poppin'? Y'all? Pin comment. I wonder how I create a title. Let me see. I don't know how they do that. What's that? No, that ain't it. What's that? No, that ain't it. I know none of that's it. I don't want none of that in there. What's this? Oh no, we can't share the. That's all good. What's poppin', y'all? What's poppin'? How everybody doing, man? Everybody good? Everybody copacetic? Y'all know, man. We finna vibe out. Let everybody come on in. Let everybody come on in. Let me fix my other phone. We're gonna vibe out, y'all. Come on in, man. Yeah, senor. Look, it's gold roses in my bathtub. Water hot, Epsom salt with some essential rub. It's gold roses on my floor too. I walk God, might as well pay my flow blue. It's gold roses in my bedroom. Bandanas hanging down, that's my red room. It's gold roses in my kitchen too. Everything I cook is vegan, ain't no chicken soup. Look, I write my goals and follow through, cause that's my focus. I mean my goals halfway, cause that's the local. If that shit disturb my peace, I don't care what that is. Grab a lighter, burn some sage, I don't know what that is. It's all good, keep it moving, keep that vibe right. Make sure you meditate to keep that mind right. Burn some sage, keep it moving, keep that vibe right. Make sure you meditate to keep that mind right. It's gold roses in my bathtub. Water hot, Epsom salt, the summer essential rub. It's gold roses on my floor too. I walk out, might as well pay my flow blue. It's gold roses in my bedroom. Bandanas hanging down, that's my red room. It's gold roses in my kitchen too. Everything I cook is vegan, ain't no chicken soup. All my niggas breathe in. All my niggas breathe out. Hey, burn some shit. Hey, matter of fact, burn some probably sound too long. Look. Hey, take a break and smell the flowers while you still can. Better tell your folks you love them while you still can. It's gold roses in my blood when I smoke too. Spiritual practice with these songs make me float too. These next 3 days I ain't eating, see I'm fasting. Feeling closer to my God, I got passion. See, I used to carry hate, but I got past it. So much pain up in my heart, it had me lashing. Rosemary on my temples, hit with migraines. It's an honor being of service, that's on my name. A God amongst men, you can't touch me now. Controlling all my urges, you can't fuck me now. It's gold roses in my bathtub. Water hot, Epsom salt with some essential rub. It's gold roses on my floor too. I walk God, you might as well pay my flow blue. It's gold roses in my bedroom. Bandanas hanging down, that's my red room. It's gold roses in my kitchen too. Everything I cook is vegan, ain't no chicken soup. A God amongst men, you can't touch me now. Controlling all my urges, you can't fuck me out. A God amongst men, you can't touch me now. Controlling all my urges, you can't fuck me now. Yo, everybody come on in, man. Get your oodles and noodles. Go ahead and roll up. Get your tea. Get your fruit juice. Come on in, man. We vibing out real quick. Let everybody come on in. And then we gonna tap in. Then we gonna embrace. Yeah. Look, 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 yeah, yeah. My ambitions as a ride. My ambitions as a ride. My ambitions as a ride. My ambitions as a see, lately I've been protecting my peace. I went to the land of Pineal, I've been protecting my seat. Even though I talk to spirits, I still come from the streets. A big step, but still a gangster, I'm protecting my feet. I've been meditating, doing shadow work, I'm healing some shit. I've been trying to open my heart chakra, I'm feeling some shit. Yeah, I'm vibrating high, but I still beat your ass. And I don't really talk too much, but I teach your class. Yeah. And I still ride for my people. When I speak, I shake the room. I got some shit I can teach you. We don't vibrate the same, but I still pray I can reach you. A lost soul up in your eyes, just don't let it defeat you. 7 days within my fast, I'm on some emotional shit. I ain't even go outside, fuck this social shit. A lot of voices that I'm feeling, yeah, I'm controlling this shit. Yeah, I'm facing all my fears, yeah, I'm approaching this shit. My ambitions as a ride. My ambitions as a ride. My ambitions as a ride. My ambitions as a see, lately I've been protecting my peace. Went to the land of Pineal, I've been protecting my seat. Even though I talk to spirits, I still come from the streets. A big step, still a gangster, I'm protecting my feet. I'm protecting my feet, yeah. I'm protecting my feet. A big step, still a gangster, I'm protecting my feet. Even though I talk to spirits, I still come from the streets. Yeah. I swear I tried to live. I guess that's just my ambitions as a rock. Yeah, my ambitions as a rock. I cry, man. Got these tears coming down my face, so I had to make this song. I cry. Hey, that's that shit. Hey, look, on Bloods, I'm gonna be babe, man. Let everybody come on in, man. Go on and get bumped. I'm feeling close to the God. Go on and get your Kool-Aid, your broccoli bill bookies, your oodles and noodles. To the God. Go ahead and roll up. Get your herbal teas. I'm feeling close to the God. Look, I'm feeling close to the meat. I wake up and burn my sage in the morning. I sit back and close my eyes and feel the energy flowing. I turned vegan, yeah, I changed my diet. I enjoyed my pork and beans, but it was too many dying. I started reading too. I started learning the truth. Understand a lot of shit I learned, it wasn't true. I started wanting land, attending the flowers. I started setting some intentions before I hop in the shower. I'm feeling close to the God. I'm feeling close to the God. I'm feeling close to the God. Look, I'm feeling close to the meat. I started meditating. I started finding peace. I stopped believing in the sky and started believing me. I don't really smoke weed. See, See, I smoke herbs now, chamomile, the lavender, so calm your nerves now. I started healing trauma, you know, like shadow work. Ain't really had much growing up, so yeah, I did some dirt. But you see, I still forgive myself. I had to look up in the mirror, I had to heal myself. I had to understand my thoughts were powerful, nigga. I made sure I spoke my goals like every hourly, nigga. See, at this moment now, I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will find me as long as I stay on track. Whew. I'm feeling close to the God. I'm feeling close to the God. Yeah. Say I'm feeling close to the God. Look, I'm feeling close to the meat. Creating wealth for these generations. I'ma speak the truth, I'ma touch their heart, you can feel my penetration. I'ma make sure they remember this name. Even though I'm fully healed, I'ma still remember the pain. But it's okay though, I'm a God, bro. Energy can't be destroyed, I'm alive, bro. Now I understand, what you focus on, grow big. I focus on getting a million, and I damn sure did. Now just focus, bro. Just focus, bro. Your life is your state of mind. Keep hoping, bro. Now just focus, bro. Keep focus, bro. Your life is your state of mind. Keep hoping, bro. I'm feeling close to the God. I'm feeling close to the God. I'm feeling close to the God. I am that. I've been that. And day by day, I'ma get closer to that. And I'ma forever be that. As I think it, as I speak it, as I write it, so it shall be. I am. I am that. I've been that. And day by day, I'm going to get closer to that. And I'm going to forever be that. As I think it, as I speak it, as I write it, so it shall be. I am. Divine, 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 divine. I pray all is well. I pray all is well. What's popping, y'all? What's popping? How everybody feeling, man? Welcome back. We back with another community gathering. We finna go banoodles. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna stay too long, but we know we gonna dive in. How everybody feeling, man? Everybody good? Everybody copacetic? You double checked it? Huh? Everybody feeling, man. If this is your first time in the community gathering, welcome to the community gathering. We welcome you with open arms. We appreciate you for being a part of the community because, like I always say, without the community, there is no community. So I truly appreciate each and every last one of you for joining the community. I pray all is well. If this is your first time in the community and you have any questions as the community gathering is going, please put the questions in the question box. If you want to join me on the community gathering as far as video and we can have a dialogue and conversate, please request a video and I'll add you. So again, I pray all is well. As you all can see, the topic is soul society, but you already know how I like to start. We got to get the energy right. We got to get the vibe right. We got to get the frequency right. So if this is your first time in the community gathering, again, welcome. Before I dive in, I like to always start with the sound bowl. All right. The sound bowl, the third eye sound bowl is tuned again to the third eye, like I just said.
And as we doing this, it's going to be like a 30-second to a minute quick meditation. As we're doing this, we want to breathe in our nose and out of our nose. The reason being is because we want to be able to control the flesh, right? This is nothing but a vehicle. As you do breathe, you want to make sure that you're breathing deep within the abdomen, because majority of us, we do not breathe and utilize the full capacity of our lungs. We shallow breathe. Are y'all talking about the flute? Y'all want the flute? I can bring out the flute. Wait, we need the flute. Oh, bet. Fuck it. Nigga, fuck it. Nigga, fuck it. Hey, I thought y'all ain't like the flute. So, you feel what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, they don't really care for the flute. So I'm going to just go back to the sound bowl. But y'all want the flute. We finna go to the flute. Bet. So since we're going to the flute, so it's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna be the same thing, right? So if this is your first time in the community, the same way how I was explaining it with the sound bowl, you want to breathe in and out of your nose, breathe deep within the abdomen. You know what I'm saying? In 30 seconds to a minute, all right? So the flute, for those that don't know, this is handmade by the Rosewood. The individual that made this is his 3,769th flute that he handmade. Amazing, beautiful. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds to a minute, activate them ancestors, the ancestors within inside of us. Go ahead and raise them up. Go ahead and, y'all know how we do it. All right. So let's turn up. Let's start. And don't laugh at me, by the way, because I don't know how to play it. All right. So. I give honor and thanks to the powers that be that have given me the position to obtain the knowledge that I have, to not only just obtain the knowledge, but to be able to convert this knowledge into wisdom, to not only teach myself, but the people, places, and things around me. I send that same energy out to every being that's in this community, to every being that is watching this live, to not only be able to obtain the knowledge that may be spoken, but also be able to convert this knowledge into wisdom, to not only teach themselves, but the people, places, and things around them. I give honor and thanks, and I also speak life and power into every being that's in this community, because I understand, and understand that without the community, there is no community. I also pray that every vibration, every frequency, every voice, and every word spoken tonight is spoken far away from ego, but vibrates on the same frequency of life, love, power, and most importantly, truth. I give honor and thanks, and I speak life and power into the powers that be. Ashe, Asheo, Amen, Hare Krishna, and all of the above that you shall subscribe to. What's popping, y'all? How everybody feeling, man? Let me see. How everybody feeling real quick, man? Let me check in with y'all. Before we even jump in, before we even start, let me check in with y'all. How everybody feeling? Everybody copacetic? Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody copacetic? All right, for sure. Everybody good? Ooh, this herbal tea is nasty, but I'm going to keep it gangster with you, boy. I've been feeling amazing since I've been drinking this herbal tea every day. In my herbal tea, I got the burdock, the Jamaican sarsaparilla, the chamomile. I got the lavender. What else I got in here? I got the neem oil. The neem. What else I got up in here, man? I got a nice amount of herbs. Did I say the burdock root? I got the burdock root in here. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm going crazy. We good. Okay, I see the numbers. All right, everybody copacetic. Y'all double checked it. Everything good, shorty? For sure. All right, for sure. So again, if this is your first time in the community gathering, welcome to the community gathering. The community welcomes you with open arms. And also, if this is your first time in the community gathering, if you have any questions as we're going through the community, the topic, please put your questions in the question box. And if you want to join me on the community and have a dialogue, please request a video and I'm going to add you, or at least I'm going to try, because you know how we, yeah. Now, again, so, if y'all see me going back and forth, for those that know, I got a whole nother phone that is recording me right here, right, for my YouTube. You know what I mean? So, I gotta give little baby some attention too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't just get all my attention. I gotta get a little baby some attention too. Like, yeah, come here. Let me go ahead and speak some life and power into you too. Cause the folks on YouTube, they need it. You know what I mean? So yeah, okay, so boom, we finna dive in, y'all. We ain't gonna be too long on this topic. We're gonna dive into the community gathering. So as y'all can see, the topic says soul society, right? It says soul society, pretty much choosing to be spiritually minded. Right now, what I first want to talk about is the English hexapla, right? So for those that don't know how to spell that, it's English, and then the hexapla is HEXAPLA, right? The English hexapla. And this is pretty much also learning how to, this is a book actually, right? This is a book that is pretty much that breaks down the different meanings and the original meanings of the original meanings of the Bible, right? So in a way, right, we're gonna pretty much break down a specific meaning that is in the Bible, right? And again, it's called the English hexapla. Right now, what I want to break down in that book, and that book was very, very expensive, by the way. It was like $1,200, but they upped the price on real knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? However, so when we go back, right, and y'all know, right, the community, y'all know that I read the Bible, but I don't just read the Bible. I read the Bible. We have to understand that these ancient scripts, they have deeper meanings, right? And we've been programmed to not think for ourselves and to not go deeper, within the Bible and the different parables that the Bible speak about, and etc. Right? So again, the book is called the English hexapla. All right, you can look it up. I don't know how much it'll be for y'all, but I know for me, the book was like $1,200-$1,300. You know what I mean? So what I want to break down is the meaning of the word son, right? The word son in the Bible, right? We have to, and again, the English hexapla breaks down the original meanings, leading up to the versions of the Bible that we have now, right? And the interpretation that we have now, right? So the word son, right? It wasn't necessarily used as a male child of a parent, right? So when you look up the definition, right? And when you look up the etymology of son, and also when you start studying the English hexapla, you will understand that the word son was actually used as a reference of sound. So in the early transcripts of the ancient scripts, right? In those scripts, it wasn't the Son of God, but it was actually the Son of God, right? The original word in the Bible was the Bible for addressing sons was son, right? Which is SONE. All right. I'm gonna try not to speak too fast on this. All right. So again, The Son of God, the original language, the original name of in reference of the Son was Son of God, S-O-N-E. You can look this up as well. Y'all know I speak about the etymology of words a lot, right? Get the etymology dictionary, get the Webster's dictionary, right? And break these words down. Understand, overstand, and understand the words that we cast over ourselves and the words that they have programmed us to use and to believe because they know we wouldn't think for ourselves. So the Son was in reference as sown, S-O-N-E, right? Now you have to understand that sown does not mean son. It means sound. You can look this up, right? Y'all know, disclaimer, I tell y'all all the time, don't listen to me. Do your own research. I just watch cartoons and come back and repeat it. Let him who have ears hear, let him who have eyes see, okay? Boom. Now, you have to understand something in the Bible, right? John chapter 1, verse 1 says, in the beginning was the Word, right? And the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? Now, don't just listen to what I'm saying. You have to listen to what I'm saying. And when you read the Bible, don't just read the Bible. You have to read the Bible again. John chapter 1, verse 1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, right? Now, the point was this. The point that I'm making with the Son of God was to understand that when you look up the definition and you understand the words that we speak, right? The Son of God was never a person, but it was a frequency. Again, if y'all see me going back and forth, I gotta give my other device some attention because it's for my YouTube. Again, the point was me making with the Son of God and understanding that the original definition of son is sown, S-O-N-E, which means sound, was understanding that the Son of God was never a person, but it was a frequency. And if you were able and had the capacity to pick up the frequency of God, the vibration of God, you became the son, the sown of God, right? You resonated with God. You resonated with the frequency, with the vibration of God. So you became God's son, God's sound. Again, the etymology of son, the first meaning of the word son, S-O-N, derives back to the original spelling, which was S-O-N-E, which is a sound. The etymology of sound means what is heard, which was originally then spelled S-O-N. So the Son of God doesn't mean a one male. The Son of God doesn't mean a person that derived from a being. It only means that you're a being that is resonating on the same vibration and the frequency of God. Are y'all understanding what I'm saying? Let me see some numbers real quick. Let me see some 222s. Let me see some 333s. Let me see some 444s. I just want to make sure y'all understand, overstand, and understand what I'm speaking on in this current moment. So again, you can do your own research, right? The etymology of these words. The Son of God, the original definition of Son of God was spelled S-O-N, which means sound. So when you read these parables and when you read the Bible, you can't just read it. You got to read it. You have to understand that the Son of God was not a being. It was a frequency. It was a vibration. And once you are able and have the capacity to resonate with that frequency and that vibration, you then became the son, the sown, the sound of God. Going to church never teaches you about this. That's because you have to understand, No offense to, no offense to the church goers, but you have to understand that church is a business, right? If we want to be completely honest, right? It's a business, right? They're not going to tell you the truth because then again, they don't even know the truth, right? They only know what they've been taught, because you have to also understand that in order for you to become a pastor, a preacher, a certified pastor and preacher, you got to go to school and learn the shit that they want you to preach, and you get a church and you preach it, right? Just like school, right? Just like education. Education means to train, right? You can look it up. Education means to train. So you're just getting an education and being trained on what to say. Right? Now, again, no offense to my church goers, but however, we got to stop listening and we got to start listening. We got to stop listening and we have to start listening. Now, when we speak about sound, right? When we speak about sound, when we speak about frequency and vibration, right? I want all of us on this live right now. I want all of us on this live right now to think to ourselves, right? And to observe and analyze ourselves. How do you say your name? Like, how do you say your name when you introduce yourself? Right? Do you say your name like, hey, how you doing? I'm Tone. It's a pleasure. Do you say your name like, hey, how you doing? My name Tone, man. It's truly a pleasure to meet you. Do you say your name like, oh, my name Tone, and I'm the like, how do you say your name? Now, although how do you say your name also depends on your environment, right? The circumstances that you may have endured. However, you have to understand that your name is your nature. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't just listen to me. Listen to me. See, your name is your nature. What you call yourself is what you're going to be. What you call yourself is what you are going to be. That's why names are very important. That's why names are very important. And it's also very important to not just name your child anything. I remember a couple years ago, I think this was like over 8-9 years ago. I was dating a girl a woman at a time, right? Well, I'm not gonna say woman, like I was a teenager, right? I think I was like 17, right? And this was years ago, so I don't really, but anyway, her name was Tyranny, right? Her name was Tyranny. Now, when you look up the definition of tyranny, it means war. Right? I wish I had my laptop in here so I can pull it up. Because I know this computer ain't really. See, the definition. Let me see if this is going to pull up real quick. See, the definition of tyranny was war, right? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up and why I'm making this very important, because, again, your name is your nature. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to not just name your child anything. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when you look up the definition of tyranny, it means war. When you look up the definition of tyranny, it means war. And the entire time that we were together, it was nothing but war. What does your name mean? That's another thing. Now, all of this ties into the sound of God. Because your sound, your name is your nature. Let me see. Let me see. Tyranny. Right? Okay, I see y'all dropping some names. I like that. I see y'all dropping y'all names. Let me see. I'm trying to find a definition real quick so I can articulate it correctly. Boom, here we go. The definition of tyranny, right? Cruel and oppressive, to rule, unreasonable, the arbitrary use of power or control, to go to war. Your name is powerful. Your name is your nature. So again, how do you say your name? What does your name mean? We're speaking about the sound of God. Now, anytime, right, you're seeking to change your situation, right? Anytime you seek to change your situation, you have to change your name, right? Now, I'm not saying like, of course you have to go to war. Go to the courts and change your name and things of that nature. However, right, it could be more so a psychological name change, right? So like, for an example, right, myself, right? I call myself, like, every day I don't even call myself my name. I don't even call myself Tone, my government name. I call myself God. And based off my last live, the last community gathering, I articulated that once you look in the mirror and you know who you are, right? And you then categorize yourself in the category of God. It's only two things that you can do at that point. You either can deny God or you live up to being the God that you are. So when I look myself in the mirror, right, the things that I do is of God. Now, again, for those that, has the misconception of me calling myself God, I'm not saying that I created everything. However, I am connected to everything. I'm not saying I created everything. However, I am connected to everything because I understand and understand the power of the 3, 6, and the 9. I'm going to say that one more time. Me calling myself a God is not me saying that I created everything. However, I am connected to everything. And let me put emphasis on everything that is natural. So when I look myself in the mirror and I see God, when I see a bee and I see God, remember what I said in the last community gathering, these names, these terms, when you no longer categorize yourself and detach from the English language, these titles, you don't see a bee, you don't see a lion, you don't see a tree, you don't see the sun, you see God. So when I detach myself from titles and I see God, it's something inside of me that then unlocks and like, now I have to become a God. The things that I put inside of my body, the things that I think, the things that I speak, how I move, how I introduce myself has to be of God. If you can use your imagination, remember, like I always say, the greatest nation that we have is our imagination. So if I can imagine myself, how would God introduce himself? Yeah, people say they know God, but do they truly know God? Because now I'm like, okay, how did God introduce himself? How would God introduce himself? Right? This goes back to the power of sound, the sound of God. Anytime you are seeking to change your situation, you have to first change your name. The way in which you say your name is how others going to deal with you. Right? If you cannot say your name with power, No one else will say your name with power. No one else would even put you on a pedestal of being a powerful individual. The power of sound, learning how to articulate. Your name must have power or you get nowhere in life. Now, again, I know, whoa. My name must have power and I won't get nowhere in life. Whoa, hold up. Now, it's easy for people to pay their way in, to pay their way up, to assist you and move up. Right time, right place. Putting yourself in certain positions. However, what we're speaking about is being able to move throughout life by the way of the soul and not the flesh. Remember what I said last week in the community gathering. How are you able to speak yet not move your mouth? How are you able to hear yet not being able to use your ears? So what is that inner being that you're hearing? What is that inner being that is speaking? We're not speaking on moving. We're not speaking on moving throughout life by way of the flesh, but more so by way of the soul. Which is why, like I said in the last community gathering, once you become more soul and you speak, is much more powerful because it's no longer the shell that's speaking, but the being that is inside of you. And a lot of people don't understand is that or know the history of certain top beings, but a lot of individuals, right, had to change their names. And once they changed their names, they then became successful. Think about it, right? For an example, for those that don't know Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z, his album, The Blueprint. Jay-Z, his album, The Blueprint, was actually named, it was actually a complete different name when he released it, right? Didn't do nothing. He went back and changed it to The Blueprint. And now it's one of his top selling albums till date. It's one of his top selling albums to date. Again, like I said, you can change your name. You don't have to change your name. But again, we're not moving by way of flesh. We're talking about soul and spirit. Let me see some numbers. Let me make sure everybody understanding and understanding what I'm saying. Let me see some numbers real quick, y'all. Let me see some numbers, right? Fix this real quick. Let me see some numbers, y'all. Make sure everybody coping. Make sure everybody understanding what I'm saying. And then, right, when we start speaking about names, and matter of fact, when we start even speaking about albums, right? Y'all know how social media has an algorithm, right? The universe has an algorithm as well. Because when you start actually paying attention to these artists that release music, start paying attention to the dates that they're releasing. Start paying attention to the colors that is on their albums. Even now, even the albums that are dropping now, right? Or the albums that have dropped, right? Look at the colors. Look at the names. And now, sit back from a bird's eye view, understand, and start asking yourself, start asking these questions. What made this top person, probably one of the toppest in the game, to release this on this date with this color? And then pay attention to what it do, the numbers that it does. See, the universe has an algorithm as well. This is how a lot of individuals become successful, by learning the algorithm. Pray everybody is understanding and understanding what I'm saying. And that is correct, guys. That is correct. You're 100% correct. It's a algorithm of color and number. It's all frequency. 100%. It's all frequency. So when we go back to the sound of God and go and backing up a little bit, right? And recapping on changing names, right? You have to understand that changing your name, right? You then also simultaneously have to change your nature. Remember what I said? Your name is your nature, right? Your name is your nature. I can't call myself, right? I can't walk into the building and say, my name is Wakabubo. I'm from the nation of Wakanda. Wakanda forever. I can't walk into a building and say that. Yet, behind closed doors, my nature doesn't line up with being part of the nation of Wakanda. Listening to what I'm saying. You change your name, you simultaneously have to change your nature. I can't give myself the name of a god or a goddess, yet I'm operating in flesh. If your nature doesn't change if your nature does not change with your name, nothing changes. You're just calling yourself and labeling yourself something for whatever reason. Everything has to be with intentions. And when you do that, this is why, right? This is why a lot of individuals, right? A lot of people that have spiritual awakenings, right? They have a dream, right? They have a journey. And within that journey, a name comes to them. And they start to change their name. They may even go to the courts and change their name. Hence, right? Malcolm X. His name wasn't Malcolm X. His name isn't even Malcolm. His name is actually longer than that. Matter of fact, let me look that up real quickly. Split. You feel me? Let me see. What is, because I like to give facts. What is the name of Malcolm? That's a great example. Malcolm X. Because if you think about it, right? When Malcolm X, right? Malcolm Little, right? His name was Malcolm Little, right? We all know about the past of Malcolm Little and et cetera, et cetera. We all know the past, the robber, all the extra bullshit, right? However, once he changed his name, simultaneously he changed his nature. His new name was El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. Right? El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. Once you change your name, simultaneously your nature has to change. This is why a lot of us, we may put ourselves on pedestals that where we don't even belong, because our nature, what we do, right? What we do, what we speak, how we move, what we think, what we watch, what we listen to is not even of the nature of the pedestal that we say that we're on. Yet you want to be there because of the title, yet your actions doesn't speak loud. Actions speak louder. In order to begin searching for your new self, your nature has to change. Me and the goddess Mecca was speaking about this on Monday, right? You have to get rid and release the things that no longer serve you and make room for the things that do serve you, for the things that's your birthright. However, if your nature doesn't add up to the things that you say you desire, that you say that you want, how is this going to be possible? So now when we jump into the names, right? What do we call ourselves? Right? And what do we mean to ourselves? If you cannot look in the mirror, and know who you are, you're going nowhere. Listen, facts don't give a fuck about feelings. I'ma just keep it gangster with you. If you cannot look in the mirror and you do not know who you are not going anywhere until you can realize who you looking at and what you looking at. Until you can feel who you looking at and what you looking at. Let alone looking and knowing who you truly, you're not going anywhere. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, you got to check that first. If you do not like what you see in the mirror, you got to check. We talking about the sound of God. We talking about the Son of God, the sone, the SONE, the etymology, meaning sound, the frequency, vibration of God. So now when you look into the mirror, right? When you look into the mirror, you can call God. And when you call God, God appears. And what I mean by that is, for an example, right? In this community gathering, everyone is here. Everyone who's supposed to be in this community gathering is here because when God called God, God appears. I don't think y'all understanding what I'm saying. I said, when you call God, when I call for the community gathering to gather together to not just listen, to not just learn, but also speak and exchange energy amongst each other. When God calls God, God appears. So what I mean by that is, with us all being reflections of one another, you are the God that you're looking for. You are the God that you're looking for. There is no other God but you. I made an example in the last community gathering. If you take a drop of the ocean out of the ocean, is that drop still not the ocean? Yet when you put that drop back in the ocean, it then becomes the vast majority of the ocean again. Remember what I said? I call myself a God. I don't just call let me rephrase that. I am a God. However, I'm not saying I created everything. However, I am connected to everything. There is no other God but you. A lot of times we get so caught up with searching and looking and start talking and praying and thinking that, oh, we're talking or we're praying to something outside of us, when you're not understanding that the laws of nature is you have to go within to go without first. You have to go within to go without first. You have to go through the dark to get to the light. The soul of a true God is happy to be around knowledge. It's happy to be around wisdom. I posted a verse today. right? Matter of fact, let me get it, right? Posted a verse today, right? And I said, the verse was, whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is brutish. See, a God loves knowledge. A God loves wisdom. Remember what I said, knowledge is masculine, wisdom is feminine. And wisdom only comes when the knowledge is applied. I pray everyone is understanding, overstanding, and understanding what I'm saying. If you have any questions, please put the questions in the question box. If you want to join me on a community gathering, please send the video so we can have a dialogue. Please send a request so I can add you. Like I said, I'm not going to be on this topic too long, y'all. We're talking about the sound of God, the Son of God, the Son of God. Again, I'm not going to be here too long. Give me about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Let me see what y'all talking about real quick before I continue. I pray everyone is understanding, overstanding, and understanding what I'm saying. Once you have ascended to your higher self, best believe God and goddesses will acknowledge you as a god or goddess. Hello. See, you only attract what you are. Hey, listen. You only attract what you are. We God because God breathed inside the first men, Adam, dust. We come dust, we come back. I don't know what you mean, 365 illusions. Yeah. Yeah, if y'all got any questions, please put the question. It's a lot of questions, a lot of people that want to join. I can't wait. Give me 5 more minutes. Give me 5 more minutes, y'all. Right? And I'm glad that, I don't know if that was a God or a goddess saying that once you tap into the God and the goddess that's already within inside of you, the God and goddesses is going to acknowledge you. See, you only can be attracted to who you are. Right. That's why it's very important to evaluate your environment. Right. Your surroundings, because all those certain things. All those certain things are inevitable. Right. Majority of your surroundings you are attached to. Right. And you are attached to because you are that. This is why it's important to start understanding, overstanding, and understanding, and start analyzing the relationships that you have with certain people. Right? I spoke about this and also in a quote today that I posted about looking at things from a bird's eye view and start realizing that once you get in a space and in a position of realizing that a lot of things in your life may seem like it's repeated, right? It may seem like you're repeating the same cycles, right? Now it's powerful to realize that because now you're taking self-accountability. And once you start realizing that, you can look at things from a bird's eye view, right? And you can start asking yourself, okay, what is the lesson, right, within this repeated cycle, right? What is the lesson that I need to learn within this repeated cycle? And once you start realizing the lesson, right, and you stop pointing fingers, because once you point one finger, you got three fingers pointing back at you, which then, in a sense, right? If you look at me pointing a finger and you have a perspective, a perception, right? And you change your perspective and you realize that, okay, 3 fingers pointing back at me is the confirmation that I'm always in control. You may not like the repeated cycle. So you look at it from a bird's eye view. You stop pointing a finger, right? And you start analyzing yourself. Okay, what is it that I can do, right, to learn this lesson and then change the people, places, things, and actions that may have been going on within this repeated cycle? You can only attract what you are. You can only be attracted to the things that you are, right? Now, we can play God's advocate with that as well because, right, a lot of women say they desire me, right? A lot of women say they desire me, right? Again, like, listen to what I said. I said, you can only be attracted to who you are, right? Your people, places, and things, your environment, whatever the case may be. A lot of women, they say that they are attracted to me or whatever the case may be, right? However, from my perspective, you like the idea of me, right? You like the idea of me. Remember what I said? You can only be attracted to the things that you are. However, to play God's advocate, you like the idea of me, so you think you are attracted to me. You think you like me. You like the idea that I have plants. You like the idea that I water plants. You like the idea that I'm vegan, but you like the idea that I like to meditate and stretch and sound bowls and play the flutes and I do shadow work. However, you haven't even started your healing journey. You like the idea that I can water plants, but you don't even have a plant in your home. Let alone if you don't have a plant, you're not even learning. You can go on YouTube about how to plant. You talk about healing, but you haven't even started your own healing journey. So how are we playing God's advocate? So how could you possibly believe that you are attracted to an individual like me? You know, like women say, I ain't trying to eat my own pussy, but I'm going to keep it gangster with you. I'm going to keep it gangster with you. I ain't trying to suck my own dick, but I'm just saying, I'm a God. I'm a God. And so when you start to come around me, right, and you start realizing like, oh shit, like, damn. That Instagram shit ain't just a perspective. It ain't just a perception that he put it on it. Like, damn, he really a God. So, damn, I really got to start my healing journey. Damn, I really need to be alone. Damn, I really need to learn how to be in silence and not being so caught up with all these distractions of this low vibrational music and I kind of have some balance. Damn, I need to start doing some cord cutting. Damn, I really got to change my diet. Damn, this nigga really a God. See, we can play God's advocate with you can only be attracted to what you are. However, you got to be real with yourself. You got to be real with yourself. You got to keep it gangster with yourself. Right? You can only be attracted to what, so if you're seeking knowledge, you are knowledge. If you're seeking truth, you are truth. If you're seeking love, you are love. You can only be attracted to what you are. And if you don't like what you are attracted to, remember what I said about the finger. You got 3 pointing back at you, which is confirmation to yourself that you have the power to change. Right? We're playing God's advocate, right? You can be attracted to an individual with a high ability, high capabilities, high self-realization. That's okay, right? However, you have to be real with yourself. Like the goddess Mecca was saying on Monday, right? When we had our conscious conversation. She was articulating that when I go outside, you know, sometimes I wouldn't mind a God walking up to me and introducing, but, you know, a man wouldn't even, it's certain men that wouldn't even think to approaching me. That, you know, this is the God. So, you know, just to piggyback, like, yeah, it's women that, and this goes back to self-accountability. This goes back to knowing that I can't approach him. I still got work I need to do. And I haven't even started the work. I haven't even started the work. Like I said, I ain't gonna be in here too long, y'all. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I pray you heard it. I pray you understand, overstand, and understand everything that I spoke about. You know, like I said, I wasn't gonna be on this topic too long. I really just wanted to break down, right, the etymology of certain things and just broaden the perspective of learning how not to just read, but read, not to just listen, but listen. And understanding and overstanding who you truly are. Knowing who you are. Getting to know yourself. Having the desire to know yourself. I pray y'all understand, overstand, and understand everything that I spoke on tonight. All right, we're going to jump into the community gatherings. I see a lot of questions. I see a lot of people want to dive in. So I think that's the first thing I'm going to do. Normally, I answer questions first. But as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and ask somebody. I had a vision of you. You appeared as a superhero dressed in all black and your eyes were jet black. You had black wings and jet black eyeballs. You was reaching out to me, but I stood there. May you explain. That is interesting. That's interesting. You know, I could explain my perspective, but you know, you would have to sit with yourself, write that dream down, you know, get a dream journal, write that dream down, right? And ask for clarity. I was dressed in all black and my eyes was jet black with black wings. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. All right, y'all. Let me ask somebody else. Let me ask somebody in here. We're not even. I'm gonna dive into the questions afterwards. Let me see. Got LV Prolific. You raised your hand. Come on to the front of the class.
Blood.
Hello.
What's up?
How you doing?
Doing all the above.
All of the above.
Mm-hmm.
I like that for sure. For sure.
How you
Talk to
feeling?
us. What's going on? I'm actually feeling amazing. I'm feeling charged. I'm feeling erect. I'm feeling abundant. You know, yeah, I'm feeling that peace.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I had to have you know, a little description. Had to get a little descriptive.
But just to hit on what you were saying, like a little bit earlier about like when you speaking to God, you are God. Cause I felt myself like this week had been crazy. Crazy. So I'm like, I just been like, I don't know if I'm just like numb or just kind of drained that shit. But I just found myself just like, God, just give me a direction where I need to go. Just dropping everything, releasing everything. And just like, man, I feel like free. But also just like trying to find a direction to go in. But really I know what I need to do. And just like, I keep trying to keep myself like stagnant or like in this little area where I feel like, damn, I know I'm a goddess. I know I got like faith. I just know I got everything I need to do, but it's just like I just need to do it. So at this point, it's like doing it.
Facts. That's powerful. And you know, one thing I wanna touch on is you saying that like you indirectly saying that you pretty much surrender. Like surrendering is one of the most powerful things to do. Right. And surrendering is not necessarily like some people say surrendering is giving up. However, surrendering is more so letting things be a lot of times, right? And that's one of the major components when manifesting as well, right? Different perspectives and different practices that I've given when it comes to manifesting is the last thing when you manifest is to just let go. You know what I'm saying? Surrender whatever you manifested so it can then have the power to come to you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's very powerful. And yeah, you know, it's just all about doing it. That goes back to also me saying that at the end of the day, you have the power. There's nothing more powerful than you.
What you know? I just felt that. Dang, I ain't know I was gonna be on here, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm just sitting here taking notes,
For
annotating,
sure.
writing down key points. I'm okay. I'm finna look into that. But yeah, this like when I just hopped on here, like on this live, I was just like chilling on the bed, and I'm just like, I'm finna do my night routine. So
Yeah.
I did that. Then I was like listening. I'm just like, man, he's speaking directly to me. Like I'm supposed to be in here right now. So
Yeah.
it just gave me like, I got this.
Facts. Fact. Like I said, man, when God called God, God appears.
Man, you ain't
God,
never lied. That's tough.
when God called God, God appears. So everybody that's in this live supposed to be in this live. You just have to understand that, another perspective that I would like you to adapt is having the confidence and the reassurance that you are divinely protected, you are divinely connected, and that which you desire desires you. So whatever you're growing through, not going through, but whatever you're growing through, you're going to grow through it. You know what I'm saying?
Can you say that one more time?
what part did you miss?
Confidence and reassurance,
So
divinely protected, the
so
whole
so you are divinely protected. You are divinely connected. So what comes with that is having the assurance that whatever you're growing through, not going through, but whatever you're growing through, you're going to grow through it. And that which you desire desires you. You have to believe that. It's power in belief. Earlier in this live, earlier in the community gathering, I said the most powerful nation that we have is imagination. But you have to use that powerful imagination. You have to use that powerful mind that you have, the most powerful nation that you have. See, a lot of times we lose that imagination because the inner child that's within inside of us has been killed, has been died off. Because only a child can create. Only a child. I don't care how old you can get. The only person, the only being that is inside of you that can create is a child. Because what comes with creating is imagination. And the only being that has the greatest imagination is the child. Hence why I always talk about shadow work, healing the inner child inside of you. Because then you awaken it, right? Not just awaken it, you revive the inner child inside of you. And then by healing and consoling that inner child then becomes much more powerful, much more creative, much more imaginary. You got to believe that you're going to grow through it. You got to
believe it. I definitely believe it. I be seeing I be strolling on Instagram and stuff. I just be seeing you juicing, or like you'll be talking, you like have your brush.
Hey, you covering your mic.
Oh shit, I'm high as fuck. But you will have your little whole setup right there, and then I just take the time to just read your caption, and it just be decent. It just be like, dang, like I really feel energy when I scroll past, because it's be like certain stuff just for me to see, it's for me to be like, dang, okay, cool. Like when you have like an image, or like when you guide, like you have to treat your stuff as such. So like low vibration foods and the frequency like your body naturally in tune with, so you get off balance. But like when I be seeing, like when I be juicing, I be doing that, I be feeling like the most at myself. So that's that shit. Like you just gotta feed that.
For sure. Facts. Well, God is before you leave, man. I just want to say I appreciate you for being on here, for opening up and being vulnerable and expressing yourself in the community. I appreciate you for being a part of the community, because like I always say, without the community, there is no community. So I truly appreciate you.
Shit. Same here. I appreciate being on here. Like
For sure.
cool.
For sure. Peace, guys.
Peace.
Gotta believe, man. You are divinely protected. You are divinely connected. There is nothing, I mean nothing, more powerful than you. Let's see who else we finna add up in here real quickity splay, you feel me? Let me see. Can I join without video? Yes, you can. You can turn your video off. You know what I'm saying? Word to my mother, you know what I mean? And still who else finna come up in here real quickity split, you know what I'm saying? Boom, we got Badu Tribe, Art Page, Unperfection. Boom, you raise your hand, come on to the front of the class, you feel me? Word to my mother, you know what I mean? You know how we doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, big step. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing.
That's great. Today's live, it just resonated with me like in the deepest way. I think my story might help other people connect as well. About maybe 3 weeks ago or so, like I just kind of woke up and I was like tired of everybody's shit. Like spiritually, like I'm like, I got my tarot cards, like I got my crystals, I got my sage, Palo Santos, like everything I can have, but like for some reason, like I wasn't starting to feel like fulfilled in a way. And then I woke up one day and like when I say I woke up, like I realized you could have all the knowledge you have and you could be Google. Google, like just like Google doesn't know how powerful Google is because it just stores the knowledge. But I can give you this, I can give you that, but Google never applies the knowledge. It just has it for you. And I realized like as a download, us as humans, or as our vessels, as our souls, we gotta play off that too. Like all this knowledge I have, I can teach it and tell it to anybody, but unless I practice it and I believe and I put into practice with the people around me. So I woke up and chose myself. So that made me cut off connections. I was talking to people for so long, but it not going where I wanted it to go, meaning not thinking like me being selfish. No, it has to be like a mutual respect. That goes for friends, that goes for everybody. You can love somebody so much, but at the end of the day, like if somebody's not choosing themselves, how are they going to choose to fulfill you as a friendship, as a relationship, as a business relationship? And like that's been one of my hardest things to do is like realize the goddess that I am. I need to be surrounded by gods and goddesses, like not just people that know crystals, talk about them. Like I had to learn, let some of my closest friends go, and I had to tell them like, if I'm shaking up your demons by whatever I'm telling you, that just means you got work to do. Like this is not me letting you go because I don't love you. I love you so much that I just gotta let you go.
Wow.
And when you magnetize back, that means you for me. And if you don't, that means we was on two different journeys. But I can't sit here and scratch your back and change your diaper and help you eat when, I want somebody who's able to challenge me and lift me up, or even as friends in my circle. And like I can realize, like very inspirational, one of those things, I've attracted gods and goddesses like in the last couple weeks, me being serious about what I want. Like I feel it in my soul. Even if sometimes I'm not sure, I'll look in the mirror and be like, nah, Mariah, that you deserve it. Like I gotta remind myself like who I am, and like because sometimes I'm very hard on myself, but I realize like even if I don't look outwardly, people look inwardly towards me, but like you're doing your shit. Like even like with my art and stuff, people tell me like, Mariah, you doing your shit, and like
oh, let me see that again.
I'm so hard on myself.
Oh, that is dope.
Thank you.
Oh, that's fire.
I sell art. I didn't know I could do that until I did it. So it's like a lot of things I just like even when you're talking about your childish self, like that resonated with me so high because like my mom, everybody around me be like, Mariah's a little old Asian lady. She's an old Chinese lady. Like just from like the womb, I've always just been connected. So like everything you've been saying on this live today just resonates with me like so very deeply.
Wow.
Like even if you don't know where you're going, like I put everything in an analogy. Like if you're driving in a car and it's early in the morning and it's foggy, you got your high beams on, you can't see nothing but the lights and the middle line in the road, so you know you're not swerving off nowhere. Like that's all you need. Like really. Like I woke up and chose myself and I let people go. I was scared. Like this is like my comfort zone. This is my pillow. And like as soon as I start getting intentional with what I want, just in these last couple of weeks, this is not a year, this is not 2 years. Like once you're serious, everybody and everything around you is gonna know you serious.
Facts. That goes back to what I'm saying. When God calls God, God appears. Wow, that's amazing. And it's powerful, to go off what you were saying earlier about, analyzing the individuals around you. That's what I was saying earlier about as well, like learning and looking at your environment and your community, your people, places, and things from a bird's eye view and start analyzing. You know what I'm saying? Because a
Yeah.
lot of times our environment is what's holding us up. The people, places, and things is what's holding us up from our blissfulness, our prosperity, our success, our abundance. You know what I'm saying? So and sometimes it's gonna hurt, but like you said, like the goddess just said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if we magnetize back together, then it's meant to be. If not, then hey, because what's for you will not miss you.
Yeah, and you got to realize that like nobody's excluded. Your best friends, like your
Right.
closest people to you, it like that's been my biggest one. Like I have a tough heart. I wear my heart outside. Like, okay, let me fix you. I'm gonna play Bob the Builder to you forever. But like I realize even if you do that, like they can know more than you, but they never apply it. You
Yeah.
can't teach somebody that's never gonna apply it. That's like trying to get a drug addict off drugs. You're not gonna do it unless they want to. And like
Right.
it's the hardest thing ever, but it's like the best feeling when you do. It's like sad, but at the same time, you feel lighter. And you
Yeah.
don't even think you're going to feel lighter because those are your tough people that you call every day when there's something wrong, you turn, you know? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like it starts forcing you to focus on you, starts forcing you to write in that diary, starts
Yeah.
forcing you to sit there like, okay, I got nobody to turn to. Let me sit
Yeah.
here and turn to myself and meditate and take a deep breath. And what would Mariah do? Like, don't look
Yeah.
outwardly because everybody can have an opinion for you, but at the same time, subconsciously it's based off of their situation and their lifestyle if they weren't in that place. So
Mm-hmm.
that's still like at the end of the day, like you still can't even do that. So just choosing yourself like
Yeah.
wholeheartedly where you know it. You could tell somebody you choose yourself, but do you really choose yourself when you
Facts.
by yourself? That's like the biggest part where you'll see changes. Like if you questioning it, you're probably not choosing yourself really. Like
Yeah.
you gotta really sit down and analyze from the dot that you're in to everything in your radius around you. Like you gotta align it to what you're gonna be, not what you should be in a
Facts.
couple hours. Like today, what
And
you
you
gonna
know,
be a millionaire, act like a millionaire today.
facts. And you know, I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but it's two things that you said was powerful. So when you saying as far as like you know, analyzing the beings that you have around you and realizing that in a sense it brought a quote that we all may have heard that you can't want more for somebody than they want for themselves, right? And a lot of
Yeah.
times, right? And I spoke about this last community gathering, and me and the goddess Mecca spoke about this on Monday, that a lot of times these situations, these circumstances of interacting with other individuals, a lot of times these relationships actually bring out the things that we actually need to work on within ourselves, right? So for you saying that, okay, well, you know, I can give you the knowledge, but you're not applying it, which then turns into wisdom. Now I need to start focusing on myself. In a sense, that's shadow work, because now it's like, okay, right, I'm giving you the knowledge, you're not applying it. So now I need to step back and I need to focus on myself and figure out, okay, what do I need to do? And also in a sense, how am I attracting and still
Yeah.
engaging with somebody that is of the opposite of what I'm actually trying to do? You know what I'm saying? So that, man, that was powerful.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you for sharing that.
No problem. And just real fast, I realized that like that's also something that stunted my growth. So you may not need everybody around you, but I realized that people around me are like my fertilizer because
Yeah,
like I got a big brain and like you can tell me something, I'm gonna annoy you because I'm gonna keep picking and picking and like, well, why did that come in your head right now? Well, I'm gonna
facts.
ask you 1,000,010 questions because nothing just happens for no reason. And I realized that also that with the my people I've dated, like just to be transparent, like I would date more hood guys. Like I
Yeah.
would just date more street dudes, and for some reason, I always realized I was never being fully fulfilled or never being fully challenged up here. Like
Mm,
I can get it out here. I don't have makeup on. I just came from skating. Like I look gross to myself, so it's like it's the outside appearance that's never it. But like even more recently, I started meeting more gods and goddesses, and we'll sit there and talk, and then conversations go for 9 hours, 10 hours,
hours.
just based off of picking on each other's
Facts.
brains. And I'm like, damn, I thought I was annoying people. It's like,
Yeah.
no, shaking
Facts.
their demons because they don't got answers, though.
And
They
facts.
never ask questions. I was getting their gears grinding and it's hurting to shake the rest off. So it's just like, I'm just in the wrong group. And why am I choosing to be in that group?
Facts. And you know that also brings me to a perspective of like it's been times where I've realized that you know, the thing like you said, like shaking people demons, right? Like I would do certain things or say certain things, yet it just don't click. You know what I mean? So I just get it. I get it. And that's powerful, man. That's powerful. I truly appreciate you for sharing that and broaden the perspective of myself and the beings amongst us as well.
Yes, sir. Thanks
So
for
I
having me.
appreciate you. Thank you.
No
Yeah, I
problem.
appreciate you. Thank you for being a part of the community, because like I always say,
Thank
without the
me for
community.
finding you, because I need to reach some of you. Like, a lot of these lives don't be cutting it, but
For sure.
I
Well, I
make sure I pop
appreciate
on
you.
every time I see you. No problem.
For sure. Peace, Claudius. Peace, goddess. That was beautiful, man. I appreciate the goddess for sharing that, man. That was amazing, man. That was a great perspective. Wow. Wow. I hope y'all brought. So let me. It's a lot of questions. So we just added 2 people. Let me see what questions we got. We got a lot of questions over here. Somebody sent me something in Spanish. Unfortunately, I'm not too fluent in Spanish. Is saying my name the same as telling the listener the truth? Frequencies. Is saying my name the same as telling the listener the truth? Well, it depends on what name that you're saying. It depends on what name that you're articulating to the other individual. Because again, what I said was that names, right? Your name is your nature, right? And whatever name that you articulate, that's your nature. And based off the nature, that's going to be the frequency and the vibration, right, of your entire essence. So it depends on what name that you're giving. Like, are you telling them the truth? You know what I'm saying? And then also it's about your perspective as well. You know what I'm saying? With me introducing myself as a God, right? Just think about the vibration that they have. Although I'm still in the state of being receptive of the name that I am supposed to have in this realm, right? However, most of us, we have names that derive from, prisoners of war and slaves, right? We have names that we gained from being prisoners of war, right? Like the movie, what is it, Roots, right? When they was trying to change, Buddy name to Toby. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it depends on what name are you saying. So, I pray I answered your question. Let me see what other questions. Somebody asked, so should I pray to the God in me? You should pray to the God that aligns with your frequency and vibration. However, what I mean by to the God inside of you and praying, right? So I'm gonna say this, right? From my perspective, and this is just what I do, right? When I pray, right? For an example, when I pray, I make sure that I articulate. I say, I'm not gonna say the whole prayer, you know what I'm saying? But however, it's a part in the prayer where I say, I give honor and thanks and speak life and power into my ancestors, my spiritual guides, and my higher self. Right? So whatever you subscribe to and whatever that makes you feel good about the inner being that is inside of you, that is, of course, you use your discernment and that's who you pray to. However, I'm just pretty much articulating that, you have the power to create, you have the power to destroy, right? You have a soul and a spirit, meaning that you are pure energy and frequency, meaning that you were never created, nor can you ever be destroyed. You are the Alpha and the Omega. You are all beings. With you being a multidimensional being and being in a 5D, observing the 4D and the 3D, which is time and space, that means you're omnipresent, right? Your past, your present, and your future is happening all at the same time. And by tapping into your higher self, you are able to observe your past, your present, and your future all at the same time. You are everything and everything is you. I pray I answered your question. Somebody asked, what is the correct way to look up the etymology of your name? Well, first you have to I would say you have to break down the syllables, right? Understand your syllables, right? We all should know what syllables are. If you're not, it's okay. You can look it up, right? The YouTube and Google is the new school. So I would say break down the syllables, right? Get the book, get the etymology, the English etymology book, get the Webster's dictionary, right? And go back and forth and start looking up what the syllables, how your name break down, right? So if you have, like, for an example, Tyrell, right? Tyrell. What does Ty mean? What does rail mean? Break that down, right? Then put it back together and also look up the etymology and the definition of that, right? And one thing about the etymology of the dictionary is that you have to read the entire definition, because within the etymology of whatever word you're looking up, you have to understand that it breaks down to the origin of words, right? So for an example, right? When I looked up the definition of sun, right? The definition of son is going to break down into a being of another person, or a male from a parent. However, it's going to break down the origin of the word. It's going to break down from the 1700s, where it came from Latin, and then it was once French, and then where it came from the 1300s and the 1200s. It is going to break down the actual or origin, where son came from before we knew the definition. And when I realized that and I researched that, right, it's the origin of son is sown, S-O-N-E. Then when I go look up the definition of sown means sound, right? So yeah, that's the correct way. I pray I answered your question. Spoke to my inner child syllable. My name is Messiah, means the anointed one. That's dope. That's dope. God is pure, holy. You die if you see him, or I don't know. What you talking about? My name, Diamond. Diamonds, a made up of pure carbon. Hence my handle. Pure carbon. That's fire. All right, let me answer. I'm going to answer 2 more questions, and then I'm going to ask somebody else up in here. What are your thoughts on energy healing and how to select the right healing practitioner? I'm very selective who I allow in my space, and I want to make sure I'm not seeing someone who will ultimately drain my energy, but add to the experience in a positive way. I'm going to keep it gangster with you. The best way that I have the discernment on who to choose, right? On who to choose, for energy work or healing energy, whatever the case may be, I ask for discernment, and I ask to be guided. You know what I'm saying? I ask to be guided. So that's the best way I could tell you. And again, pray and ask for discernment. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I pray I answered your question. That's the best. That's what I do. I can only tell you what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure the community probably gonna drop some more suggestions, but that's what I do. I ask for discernment, and I also ask to be guided, right? So if I know I need, let's say, sound healing, right? Let's say I say, man, I really want to do some sound healing. So let me meditate, let me pray, and ask for guidance for the correct being to do ask for guidance to attract the being that is supposed to, do the sound healing and whatever the case may be. So I pray I answered your question on that. All right, I'm gonna answer one more. So somebody said, can you give an example of a parable in the Bible using the sound of God? Can you give an example of a parable in the Bible using the sound of God? Well, so this is the thing, right? It's many parables, right? However, the breakdown of what I was articulating was as far as when it comes to the Son of God, and the Son definitely is the definition of sown, and the sown is definitely, you know, it's sound, is that when you read, it's even if you read the Bible, and when I say not reading, but you read it, right, you have to understand that it's reading for parables. You feel what I'm saying? So I can give you examples. Let me see. Right? The light of the body is in the eye. Therefore, if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. Whew. Let me see what's up. Let me see. Let me see if I can find some parables. As a matter of fact, let me go to Revelations real quick. All right. Cast out the ancient serpent. No. Let me see. Let me go to Revelations where they say Jesus was talking. Send my angel to you. Look, I am coming soon. Let me see. Okay, boom. Here we go. Let's see. Who is holy? I don't have anything marked. I ain't got nothing marked. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got a lot of things in this book. Let me see. Okay, the kingdoms of the world. Nah. How about this? I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to come back to that. I got you. Because there's many parables. Do not. There's many parables. I'm going to come back to it. I got you, though. Who is that? Let me see. Who is that? I can say if you jump into Revelations where Jesus, where they say Jesus is actually, where Jesus is actually speaking, you can go that, you know, I would definitely say, go to Revelations, and no, just read the Bible. Let's add somebody else up in here real quick, man. Revelations, man, is let me see. All right, we got let me scroll down. We got a lot of people. We got Moon Dust. You raised your hand, come on to the front of the class. All right, yeah, so verifiable boss. Me a jumping Revelations real quick.
Yes, I'm so happy.
What's popping, guys?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good.
I love it.
I'm so happy to be in here because I was watching you and Mecca the other day, right? And I had an upload.
Yeah,
and it was
about upload.
yeah. We don't get downloads.
We don't get downloads
right?
no more. We get uploads, baby. We ain't going down no more. We get up.
And it was about my son's name. So it's wild that you're in here talking about the importance of names.
Yeah.
So basically, when I was pregnant, my son's father asked me, "Oh, like, what are we gonna name the child?" I'm like, "I don't know." And then all of a sudden, this name came to me. Nuri is his name. It means the light or a fire. And I think that our parents name us for themselves. And the reason I say that, his name is for me, it's not for him. It may not be his name. He may name himself something else in the future. And the reason I say that is because, like, throughout my pregnancy, I felt like so much light, right? So much light. Like, I gave him a theme song, Calming the Light. There are times when you need someone, I'll be by your side. There is a light that shines. That was my song.
Yeah.
That was his song to me.
Wow.
Pretty much. So basically I'm saying all of this because, like, when I birthed him, I went into like a depression or whatever. And I went through like a really, really dark time. And what got me through was him. And so, like, afterwards, like, I went on my spiritual journey. I became like a really spiritual person. I renamed myself Moon, and he is my son.
Wow.
And I tell him what his name means, and I tell him like the story of like his birth and everything. And like, everybody calls me Moon or whatever. And one day he was like, "You're the moon and I'm the sun." I'm like, "You got it."
Wow.
You got it. He knows who he
Crazy.
is to me.
Yeah.
He knows the power of himself and his name.
Wow.
That's my light, and he knows it
That's beautiful.
for sure.
That's
But I
beautiful.
wanted to share that because I felt like that was relevant
Yeah.
to today's topic.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you know, it brings me back to my son. You know what I'm saying? When he was in his mother's womb, you know, his mom kept asking me what we gonna name him. We should name him this, we should not. I was like, listen, I don't want to do that. What I want to happen is I want his name to just come. Right. And with me setting intentions behind that, his name just came. And it's interesting how it came, because it came from my dad. And I don't really, we don't really talk. And at that time we haven't spoken, I think, almost in a year. And he came, and this was before we even found out the sex, right? He texted me out of the blue and said, you are having a son. He is this complexion. This is his name. And I was like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Because, although I don't really have that, connection or relationship with my dad. However, I speak about on my community gatherings that sometimes our parents are nothing but supposed to be portals. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes our parents are not even our real parents. You know what I'm saying? They're just used as portals for us to come into this realm to utilize and complete a mission, right? So, when he said that, I was like, wow, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is his name. You know what I'm saying? And it just fits so well. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy you shared that, because, shit, I was inspired to share my little, you know what I'm saying? That little guy right there, you know what I mean?
That's powerful though, for real.
Yeah.
Like out of the blue, he
Yeah.
gave you your son's name. That's powerful.
I was out the blue too. I was like, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Goddess, I truly appreciate you for coming on and sharing. That's definitely a beautiful name for sure.
Yeah, he
Man, I
raised me
appreciate
so I
you.
can raise him. Let's
Right. Hello.
do it.
And
Yeah,
that's beautiful as well that you said that, because I feel like I'm also healing and consoling the inner child in myself through my son as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful, man. It's amazing.
that's
It's
it.
amazing. I truly appreciate you for being a part of the community, because like I always say, without the community, there is no community. So I appreciate you. Guys, have a beautiful night, all right?
You too.
All right. Yeah, man. Hey, man, it's power in them names, boy. It's power in them names. Let's ask somebody else on here real quick. Split, you for me? See what's going on. We got let me scroll down. We got Ambitious Love. Oh, she say she unable to join. Okay, for sure. Let me scroll down. We got that girl Callie. You raised your hand, come on to the front of the class. What's poppin'? Hello. Okay, she left. She said that was an accident. She didn't mean that. For sure, I respect it. Let me scroll down. Oh, we got Crown Oil in the building. Which poppin'? You raised your hand, come on to the front of the class. We just big and bad being booze, smoking on a bigger and eating a bowl of burial. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What's going on, Big B Harmony?
Divine. Goddess, how you feeling?
Sensational.
Sensational. I love it.
Tell you something, like
Tell
today,
me, please.
very sensational. And I just want to say, like, do you feel the energy, like?
Do I?
Like the divine feminine energy, like, let me tell you, like, the community. Shout out to Sister Brick. I don't even know her name, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Sister Euphoria, like, it's crazy. So in the group, I was able to branch off into like a women's circle.
Yeah.
And just today, I was just going through like a little, you know what I'm saying? Like a little something. And then I just was like, let me just talk to you feel me? Like, just go to the community. And I really needed, like, feminine. I don't know. I guess it was just a line for the people to tap in. And it was just like, yo, like, I love being my sister's keeper. Like, I remember there was a time when I chose to kick it with a brother over my own sister, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just harmony. Like I feel like it's, you know,
Yeah,
we get together, like we
yeah,
working on our relationships with each other, you know, women loving on women, men loving on men. Like it's and us coming together, it's a beautiful thing. And
it's
I just,
healing, man. It's healing.
it's beautiful to
Yeah.
love on your sister.
Right.
It's
Yeah, yeah, I was seeing y'all in the community. I was just sitting back smiling, you know.
beautiful to be able to like talk and like
Yeah,
and not be like, oh, she gonna go. Like, nah, like I can't
yeah,
even do that with some of my family members, bro. Like, it's good to come to a space where it's just like, yo, like you really
that's
my
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing, man. I love it. You know, that's why I created the community. And for those that don't know what we're talking about the Telegram community that you know, we all created for the 7-day fast, and it just turned into a real vibe, you know, to keep it gangster with you. So yeah, so that's the community we're talking about. But you know, I'm truly am happy that, because like I say, without the community, ain't no community. So it's just beautiful to hear that. It's beautiful to see. Like I said, I was seeing the conversation. I was just sitting back, just observing, you know, and letting things play out. It was beautiful.
I appreciate you. And I want to talk about like names. Like, listen, I like names, frequency is very, I've always had many names. Like
Mm,
I have a public name and a private name. My private name is my appellation. It's like I don't do no business with it. Well, I do. You know, when I go to the supermarket, I don't pay taxes. I use my, you know, my American national ID.
mm-hmm.
But I don't, like, nobody knows me unless, you know, it's private. Now my my regular name, my public name, or my creator name, Jesse Jane. I even say Jesse Jane Gang, guaranteed and nothing greater. Like it's a whole energy, and nobody ever understood. They be like, "You got so many names." I'm like, "Yeah, I answer to many." Like, what happened? You can't pick which
Facts.
one you want. Can you
Facts.
pick one frequency? And it's like, like yo, like
Facts.
so. My birth giver, I haven't like been around her in years, and my sister, she's in Ohio. I had to link up with my nephew for his graduation. You know, everybody like, oh, what's your new name? And I'm just like, oh, why y'all trying to see y'all could try to play with me? So when I tell you my appellation is so powerful, they was just laughing like, oh, you just the prima donna. I said, no, I just don't get the frequency. But
Yeah.
listen, choose whatever frequency you want. I'm
Yeah.
cool. Like, but it's just like how you were saying with the names, the last names, like Smith, John, like that's not ours. Like my
Facts.
last name, my I have a nationality, so I know like I'm a Bay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Bay. There's only 5 names to the land. That's El, that's Bay, that's Ali, that's Day, and that's Al. Like if you don't have one of them 5 names, like you're not classified as just being like original, like an original person. So me like going through the process, I was ready to give away, like ready to change my last name, like switch it to the private. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't, I'm cool. I'm not
Yeah.
holding that. But frequency is very important. Like you could tell, like one of my mutuals that's just aligned with me. Everybody call me skin bait in groups,
Mm,
but a part of my name is Your Highness. And he was like, and honey was like, oh, what's your whole name? I gave my whole name. He was like, wow,
yeah.
so powerful. So it's just people gonna feel it, and
Yeah.
there's people that's gonna play with it and think it's do 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 do. But
Yeah.
if somebody
Facts.
can't say your name, it's not true. It's them. Like you like the sister was saying, like you shaking some shit up in them. Like they can't even call you who you are. Like they can't be true to the frequency. So.
That goes back to the Son of God, the sound of God, the soul of God, right? Can you resonate? Can you get on that? Can you get on that frequency? Can you get on that frequency? When God calls, can you appear? That's the question. When God called, can you appear? Matter of fact, fuck appearing. Can you hear it?
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, so
Even when like greeting people. It went to like peace. It went to like, I used to call everybody God, peace, God. Everybody was looking at me crazy, like, what are you saying? Like, even people harmony, like, what does that mean? I said, you don't know what harmony.
Yeah.
Harmony now is since somebody said that, I said, oh, it's supreme harmony now. Supreme harmony. Supreme harmony. Like, what's up? Like, what you don't get that? You don't get that? You don't get the vibe? Like, every time I say it, I just get the like harmony. Like, supreme, like, it's just like I'm channeling you, calling on energy. Like, it's all frequency, vibration, it's energy. Like, call it in. Like, bruh, like, it's just, it's very sensational.
Sensation. It's harmony. It's the harmony. It's supreme harmony.
I'm crying. Yeah, I just wanted just to say that, yo, like,
for sure.
Just choose, just think about it. My name's, let me get my appellation before I get off. I don't even like to post it, but I'll say it now. And I'll tell you the meaning, like, so, and the names were kind of divided by God. Like, Allah was, because I was going crazy. Like, Allah was just like, oh, chill. It took me like 3 months to get the complete appellation. My first part of my name is Yane, Yah, God. Second part, Ashe, the power to make all things happen. Third part, Your Highness. I'm always walking in my highness. And then Bay, like, I'm original to the land, like, so.
Wow.
I just wanted to share that, and like, thank you, Tom, and peace. You feel me?
It's truly, hey, listen, it's truly an honor. It's an honor to have you on. Of course, I want to give my gratitude for you being a part of the community. It's like I always say, without the community, there is no community. So I truly honor you, I respect you, and I appreciate you.
Ashe.
I say, yo,
well.
Have a beautiful night. Peace.
You too, as well.
I love it, man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna keep it gangster with y'all. Boy, I need to tap in. I need to do some deep meditation. Cause hey, boy, nigga need to know what my name is. You feel me? Like, I'm talking about beyond the flesh. I'm talking about beyond the flesh. A nigga need to know. Let me go ahead and do some deep breaths, some dragon breaths real quick. Tap into the unifield and get some messages real quick to pull back down here and be like, you know what? That's my name. 3 months. For sure. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. That's dope. Let me check on these questions real quick. Y'all, we got about a good hour left. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the energy still here? Like, what's going on? Let me see some numbers real quick. Is niggas getting tired? Like, is niggas sleepy or something? Like, what's going on? Let me see some numbers real quick because you know what I'm saying? Look like niggas sleeping or something. Niggas, you know what I'm saying? Niggas over there playing Temple Run and Grand Theft Auto and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, is niggas getting sleepy or something? Like, okay. We still up here. All right. Bet. Let me checking these questions real quickly split. See what's going on, man. It's a lot of questions. So somebody asked, do you think there's a right time to change your name, or do you advise waiting to receive divine direction? Well, it depends on, first off, it depends on what time are you speaking on, right? Of course, because, I broke down, my perspective of time. So it depends on what time you're speaking on. However, if you have received, the messages, you know what I'm saying? And your title and your name, your divine name, as the goddess said, your appellation, I just learned a new word today. Well, I ain't gonna say I learned a new word, but I just learned tapped in with some new lingo today. If you've been divinely guided to what your appellation is, you know what I'm saying, then, go ahead and do that. But if you haven't been given the message, or if you haven't had that upload, then, just be patient. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come. Just be patient. It's gonna come. Like, shit, I don't even know mine. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, shit, I need to do some real deep meditation and start asking certain questions now. You know what I'm saying? And be like, hey, I need to know my name, because although, I'm speaking about the information and I speak about how how I dialed in and present my name. However, yeah, man, I would love to know my name. Somebody said when you spoke of being more nasty. Oh, okay. Let me see. Somebody asked, how do you feel about candles, crystals, and zodiacs? I feel okay. So when it comes to candles is one of the elements, one of this realm of elements, which is fire, right? So you can definitely utilize candles for different manifestations, different attractions, different magic work, right? For sure. Crystals. The thing about crystals, I of course I wear crystals. I'm all for crystals. However, I do advise, those that's listening, those that will hear this, to know that, not to depend on crystals. You know what I'm saying? Like, use the crystals, utilize the crystals. However, you have to understand that your entire body, your entire being is made of crystals, right? When you go into the sun, right? Pay attention to your skin. When you look at your skin in the sun, you're going to see nothing but colors. Those are crystals. You're made of crystals, right? So I said that to say, right, let's not depend on the crystals. However, let's utilize the crystals to emphasize the powers that is already within inside of us. When it comes to the zodiacs, the zodiacs, I'm all for the zodiacs. You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting. I don't really dive too deep in it because I have a lot of questions. One thing I do know is that when it comes to like astrologies and astrologer and stuff like that, is that I realized and understood that, majority of the master astrologers, they wasn't using time, but they were using stars and planets and, different other constellations and how they lined up. And they wasn't using time. However, a lot of, the astrologers today, they base astrology majority off of time, which is bull. I get it, man. Listen, first off, shout out to the astrologers. All right, shout out to y'all. However, I just say this to say that, I have a lot of questions because, I broke down time, right? And one of the things I broke down was, like, for an example, like, it's 365 days in a year, right? However, we can only name 7 days, right? And then on top of that, we just adapted this Gregorian calendar about 2,000 years ago, right? Before the Gregorian calendar, it was the Julius Caesar calendar. Before the Julius Caesar calendar, we were then on, I believe, the Mayan calendar, the papyrus calendar. You know what I'm saying? And so when things are switched, especially when beings that don't mean us no good and that want to keep us in Babylon, and Babylon means to babble, right? To confuse, right? So they want to keep us in this confused state, and when they started switching times and they started making the law that, 60 seconds is a minute, right? 60 minutes is an hour. Like, once these beings started creating this spell of time, right? A lot of things in these calendars, a lot of days has been missing, a lot of months, and not even that. It's a lot of years that has been taken off of the current calendar. Also, however, I also broke down time as well, right? For an example, right? I broke down the different etymology of different months, right? So when you talk about October, right? When you hear Oct, right? What comes to mind? What number comes to mind, right? 8, right? When you hear Sept, right? SEPT. When you break that down, what number do you hear? You hear the number 7. Yet October is the 10th month, right? September is the 9th month. But when you literally break down the etymology of these words, right? October should actually be the 8th month, right? September should actually be the 7th month, right? When you hear about DEC, December, right? That's 10, right? So December should be the 10th month. So now we even so this is what I mean. Like, so again, I'm all for the astrology, shout out to the astrologers. However, right, I have a lot of questions, man, because like once we start really breaking down time and we start breaking down the etymology of these months, and we start realizing and we start asking certain questions, it's like now we got to ask, like, what is really a year, right? What is really a week? What is really a month? If we can only name 7 days out of 365 days, if we can only name Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if we can only name 7 days, yet it's 365 days, that means we should have 365 names for these days. However, we only have 7. So that means the time spell, this goes back to the time spell that we're under, right? We're under this time spell. So in a sense, we're actually just repeating the same 7 days. Then if you go back on my last community gathering, I don't know if it was the last community gathering or the community gathering before last, but when you even break down like the spell of time, right? Now you got to start doing the etymology of these words and the words that we use when we're breaking down these certain weeks. Listen to what I just said, weeks. I'm going through this weekday, the weekdays, and then on the weekend, because I get the weekend of the stick, and finally the weekdays end. On the weekdays, on the weekends, I don't want to go out. Now I'm trying to recoup. I'm trying to rest, right? Most people that got 9 to 5s are not going out on the weekend because they're snapping out of this time spell after the weekdays that they were just in Monday through Friday. Now on Saturday and Sunday, they mostly resting to repeat the same weekdays. You know what I'm saying? This shit get deep. But again, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to astrology, like I said, I'm all for it. You know, shout out to the astrologers, but I just have a lot of questions. That's why I don't go too deep on it. And if I do become an astrologer, I would more so get away from time, but dive more into planets and stars. And then on top of that, right? Also, when it comes to zodiacs, right? Although we have our sun, our moon, and our rising, right? However, I downloaded this app called CoStar. And when I think this was like last year, I downloaded this app called CoStar. And when you put your date of birth, you know what I'm saying, the time you were born, whatever the case may be, it gives you like your whole breakdown of your zodiacs, which houses is in, you know what I'm saying, which planets rule this, that, and the third. And I realized that my entire chart had every sign in it, right? My chart, although I may have 3 leading signs, that's bull. I get it. I understand that. However, my chart consists of every single sign. And no, not every sign, but all the 12 signs. Because if we really break down the constellations, there's more than 12 constellations, right? There's more than 12 constellations. There's more than just Libra, Virgo, Gemini, Capricorn. There's more than just 12. So I got a lot of questions, man. I just got a lot of questions. But again, shout out to the astrologers, man, because I'm gonna be honest, that shit get deep. So I just gained. So it's about 10 more people that just requested to be on here. So I see the zodiacs is hitting it on the head. So folks want to tap in. All right, so bet. Let me see. Let me scroll down. Boom. Let me add sync into it. Oh, I like that. I just broke that down last week too. You raise your hand, come on to the front of the class. What's popping?
Bet, bro.
Hey, the way you just got in was like, nigga, I've been waiting for you to
Yo. All the freaking questions. I was like, oh, I got all it. Bro, I love astrology. Love astrology.
Talk to me.
So I want to address the time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Most astrologers that you know are following, and this is going to be a lesson for everybody because it's a lot of people who don't know this. When people say they are something, what they're saying is their sun sign is something. A lot of people don't know that.
And a lot of people don't know that they are following tropical astrology.
And what is tropical astrology?
Tropical astrology is what I would call mainstream astrology. It's based on time, and you're right, it is. Okay. It's based on the equinoxes and the solstices. So it says that when March 21st comes up, at that time Aries starts, right? Because Aries is supposed to be the starter and this and that, and they have all these theories because it's based on time. But there are two other, and maybe even more, types of astrology. There's Vedic, which is known in the Indian culture, and there's sidereal astrology. Now, I follow sidereal astrology. I don't really rock with tropical, but I follow it for the reasons that you're talking about.
And what are those reasons?
On March 21st, the sun cannot be seen within the constellation of Aries in the sky. Because people think that these are like caricatures or something, like Aries, a Taurus, but these are constellations that are in the sky. Back. And if this is the Earth, they're spinning around the Earth and on an axis, right? And so at any given moment, when you look at the sky, you should be able to find one of the planets in one of those constellations because it's on an axis, right? Tropical astrology does not care about that. It does not care about where things actually are in the sky. Facts. It only cares about time. If it's March 21st, then that means Aries is here. If it's this date, then that means, the moon is here. If it's no. But when you look at the actual sky, it's not an alignment. And so, there are a lot of great tropical astrologers because astrology is really a science. Facts. It's taking things that you observe and applying them to an actual fact. This is where this was when you were born. That's an actual fact. For sure. So I'm going to look at your personality and I'm going to say, you're this, this, and that.
I have a question.
Please.
Can I ask my question?
Please.
I'm glad you brought up the personality thing, right? Because I've had an experience where, right, I never had an astrology reading. However, I may have told somebody, you know what I'm saying, I'm a Libra, whatever the case may be, and they say, oh, well, you're this way. Matter of fact, me not knowing what they was doing at the time, I gave them my birth name, my birth and all of that, right? Yeah. They broke down my chart and they said, well, you're like this, you're that. And I'm like, it don't resonate with me anymore, right? Because one of the things that that the goddess said was that you have anger issues that you need to deal with. I'm like, I've been dealing with that. Like, I don't, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm past that. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's not me anymore. You know what I mean? Then on top of that, she was telling me other things about, how I have like an abusive personality, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, I don't know about that. You know,
I don't know about it.
So it's like, however, I can't agree with the anger, right? Because I've had anger issues. I've dealt with it. I did my shadow work, still going through my shadow work. However, I can't resonate with what you told me because that was years ago. That was when I was in the streets. That was over 8 years ago. Okay. So now it's like, okay, you telling me a personality that I had. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my question would be, like, even with the tropical astrology, like how are you able to tell me my personality, even if you are true about what my personality may be in right now? Although you telling me this, I still have the power to change my personality.
Okay. Oof. All right. I'm gonna give you the full course.
Please answer the question.
I'm gonna give you the full course. I'm gonna give you the full course because literally, it took me a really long time to understand all of this stuff. Like, I don't talk to people about astrology a lot because a lot of people don't understand what they're talking about. And it's hard to break it down to every single person. There's 171 people on here. And I'ma break it down. Okay?
Please do.
So you come here on such and such date at such and such time, you bust into the world, right? The sky is at a particular point and moment, a flash, a picture. That's your chart. Picture of that at that time, whatever that time was. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but in that moment in time in the universe, you came in here, bam, you here.
Real quick, I don't want to cut your wisdom. I just want to confirm. So you're saying me born on this date, this month, at this time is basically an exact picture of how the constellation was.
Period.
For sure.
That is a chart.
Okay.
A picture of the sky when you were born.
Okay.
Where was it? And this is why sidereal astrology is important, because you're talking about when you talk about tropical, you're talking about something that has been promoted to us because it is not at its original point of understanding. They want to confuse you. Okay? This picture of the sky when you were born is not a determining factor of who you are. It is the clue. It is the clue.
Okay, to the clue.
It is the blueprint. It is God's way of saying, let me help you see yourself in this lifetime and past this lifetime, because astrology, when you start to study it, you get into this lifetime, yes, but you also get into other lifetimes. That's what the MCIC is. That's what it's so many things. Okay, so many things that connect to astrology. You're right. It's not just about your sun, moon, and rising, but your sun, moon, and rising is a heavy clue as to who it is that you are, the things that you came here to do, the things that you came here to go through. It's your spirit's way of giving you the blueprint to your soul. It's supposed to be what astrology really is. On top of that, astrology will assist you in understanding the cycles, because hear me clearly, astrology is about cycles. Every so often Libra come around to the sun. Every so often the sun is in Aries, the sun is in Taurus. These are cycles, right? So spirit is trying to help you understand the cycles that you will go through in your lifetime, given the picture that you have and where the planets are moving after and when they're moving after and where they're touching your chart, right? So if I say my rising sign is in Libra, let me even explain to you what a rising sign is. That circle, because remember I told you every constellation revolves in a circle, in an axis around the earth, right? That circle on the left, where the first house starts, that's the eastern horizon. Whatever constellation was on the eastern horizon of the planet, looking at a certain angle, is the sign that is your rising sign. The first house also is known to reflect your personality. So in fact, you are more like what was on the rising than where the sun actually was.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. That's interesting, because the reason why I say that's interesting, because now I would like you, if you are able to explain now time zones, right? Because if we think about Ethiopia, we can look up there. I think they're 7-8 years behind us, right? Time different, time zone is different. So let's say I'm born at 4:15 p.m. However, in Ethiopia, right, I'm born at 4:18 a.m., right? How could I make a comparison of okay, in the States, this is where my chart was. However, in Ethiopia, my chart was completely different. Because now I'm thinking, because now I'm getting an upload based on what I was saying earlier about when I download a CoStar and I put my information in, and I'm realizing that shit, my chart consists of all the signs.
I'm a flip it up for you.
Okay, all right, okay.
Flip it down in reverse.
All right, okay.
When you cast a chart, first of all, when you pull a chart, it's called casting a chart. Okay.
Okay.
When you cast a chart, the app or the website will ask you where you were when you were born. This is important.
That's right. That's okay. Okay. Okay.
It will ask you where, and it will give you the UTC, right?
Okay.
Which is supposed to be the universal time zone, right? It'll calculate your UTC, and it'll see where you were, and it'll look from that perspective where things were, because you're right. It matters where you were born.
Okay.
It fucking matters.
Yeah.
If people are living this life and they don't think that every single fucking thing that came into existence, when they came into existence into this plane, doesn't fucking matter, it matters. Where you were born, to whom you were born, what time you were born, what lineage you were born in.
Okay. That's I like how you broke that down. Okay. Because I do remember that when I downloaded the CoStar last year, it asked where I was born. And
I'm going to give you, at the end of this live, at the end of this lesson, I'm going to give you a better app, because CoStar ain't it. I'm going to take you from here in astrology, and you're going to be up here.
For sure.
Okay?
For sure. Yeah, DM me so
you're going to be like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, DM me so I can tap in, man.
I got you.
DM me. Well, you know, like, I truly appreciate that.
Yo, let me tell you something. You asked, how do they know what you're going through? Let me explain transits to you. And this is why it's important when you go to look up your horoscopes. And that's, oh God, before I even get into that, when you said you didn't resonate with what she was saying, understand this. Everybody's astrology is their own understanding and their own studies with God. So one person's understanding and level of aptitude mentally may not be as far as where you are. So you cannot go to just any astrologer. You cannot go to any place. I would suggest people go where they feel called. I would suggest people go where they feel called, what they resonate with, because every astrologer is different. And just like I said, it's a science. They're taking the data and they're analyzing it, and they're producing interpretations. That's what a horoscope is. That's what an astrological reading is. It's an interpretation. And some people's interpretations are spot fucking on because they have a gift. They have a gift. Astrology is a gift. It is very difficult to study. It is very difficult to learn and understand. And what I'm breaking down to you took a really long time to sort out.
For sure.
Like, what's happening here? You know, but Spirit has guided me along the way to understand what the truth is. And that's something that's really important to me in my life, is really understanding what the truth is. And I have a knack for knowing when something is not the truth. I have a knack for it. Like, I could know nothing about the subject, and if I hear some information about it, I'll know.
Because it's in our DNA. That's why.
It's in there.
So when you hear the information, it's either going to resonate with your DNA or it's not. And when it resonates with your DNA, it's going to unlock your DNA. And then without you even doing more research on that information, the information just going to come to you.
So let me give you transits before we go.
Okay.
A transit happens. So you say you see your chart the way it is, the picture of where everything was in the sky. That's why you said, oh, all the signs are in my chart. All the signs are in your chart because your chart's going to go from the eastern horizon all the way in a circle back to the eastern horizon, which means it's going to include every single constellation in there. It does not matter if you have an empty house. It's not an empty house. It's where that planet was, where that constellation was at the time of your birth in relation to the whole Earth. Okay. And in that space where it was, it's affecting a particular portion, or they believe it's affecting a particular portion of your life. So the first house may govern your personality, how you show up to the world, what people can expect from you. The second house may represent your financial gains, how you go about gaining in any capacity, because finances, we don't even need to get into that, money and what that is and all that good stuff. But how do you get what you need, right? Third house, siblings, family. Fourth house, all these things are counted around this circle in particular areas. So you're looking at what constellation was in that particular area in respects to Earth. So you have your picture. Let's say Libra is in my first house. Technically, the next full moon is in Libra. It will be in sidereal Libra, right? So the moon is transiting my first house. The moon stays in any particular sign for about 2.5 days. So it transits every house every 2.5 days.
But you know, I don't mean to cut your wisdom, but you know, even my research, right, that I've even researched about the moon is that the moon was placed here. Like it's not even naturally, it wasn't even here in the beginning. You know, it's
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
But it's here.
Yeah, but now because although, okay, so I know that the moon, of course, affects water, right? We're made up damn near 70 to 80% of water. It affects our emotions, all of that, right? But I'm also like, I also have a thought like, okay, well, before the moon, right, was placed here, okay, then what? Like, what were we doing then? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
I know what you mean. And it's okay to think past it. But the fact that it's here,
still gotta
the fact that it was
utilized.
Present at the time of your birth,
it matters.
It matters.
For sure.
Religion, it matters.
For sure.
It, whether it's real, not real, made up, whatever. It's here. It had an effect, which is why a lot of times when people do magics and sorts, they still use the Bible, even though they call themselves Christian, because it still holds power.
Yeah, fact.
Because we
like the Book of Psalms. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I already know. Yeah, fact.
Right. So the moon, it absolutely has a pull on you. It absolutely. So when this full moon comes around, it's going to highlight for me factors of who I am. It's going to make me reevaluate who I want to be.
For sure.
If I want to be this person, if I want to show up as this person anymore, it's going to highlight anything that has to do with me, how I look, my appearance. I may want to change my hair. I may feel like these things come up because it's transiting a house that factors on my personality. So if the moon transits my 6th house, which happens to be about health, I might feel like getting my shit together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I might want to change my diet. I might want to change how I'm living. I might want to be more active. I might want to do all these things. And so it doesn't just show up one way. It's an infinite amount of ways in this sector of how it can show up, which is why I can't even take you. Like, if I take you one level deeper, we all gonna fall out, okay?
For sure.
But when you talk about degrees, when you talk about angles, if a moon is conjunct this, a lot of people don't understand what they're talking about. The moon is conjunct this, or it's opposing this, or it's, all these transits, all these angles are, how do you explain it? Conversations between planets that are cycling certain areas of your life in a particular flavor, which would be the constellation. That's how you interpret a horoscope, which is always based on your rising sign, because that determines the clockwise, the counterclockwise, really, flow of the constellations. So if you're Libra rising, then Scorpio's in your second house. If you're Virgo rising, then Scorpio's in your third house. This matters.
Yeah.
That's why you can't look at people who are doing horoscopes and using transits from your sun sign, because it doesn't matter where your sun sign is. In horoscopes, it matters what is on the eastern horizon and what sets off your chart so that you can understand what's transiting in what house. Does that make sense?
But that shit get deep, dog. I'm gonna keep it gangster. That shit get deep, dog. That's why I'm over here like, God damn.
I know.
Well,
that's why I was like in the crowd, like.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm about to ask somebody else on here, but you know what? I do want to just say thank you for getting on here and breaking that shit down. Please DM me so I can dive more deep, because you know I still got questions. Like this right here is a whole nother community gathering, because we'll be on here. I'll be asking so many questions, trying to understand. But again, Goddess, I appreciate you for coming on here, man, and
thank you for having
breaking this down, man. I truly do.
Thank you for tapping me, and I was literally over here jumping up and down, like, let me in this bitch.
For sure. So, Bo, just make sure you DM me, man, please. All right?
I got you, bro.
Peace, Goddess.
It was nice, everybody. Peace.
So, hey, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Hey, look, I see y'all talking about 365 illusions world. I'm gonna keep it gangster with you. I'm gonna even ask you, 365 illusions world, what in the fuck are you talking about? I've been seeing you this whole live, right? I've been seeing you comment some shit in this whole live, and I'm over here like, what the fuck are you talking about? But you know, some shit, some stuff you talking something. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, some stuff, I'm like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to add somebody else up on here real quickly split. Let me scroll down. Let me see, man. Let me scroll down. Boom. We're going to add Velvet. Creole. What's popping? Creole femininity. What's popping, Goddess? Tap in. Tap in.
OMG. I'm in the oneness. I got a candle. I hope it's not too dark, but so much was said tonight. I'm in literal tears. Like,
amazing.
You know, something that really resonated with me, a couple things resonated with me. The first thing that resonated with me was when you was talking about the sound of God.
Mm-hmm.
And when you meet yourself at a point in your life where you are being called forward by the God that's within you, are you going to show up? That was the first thing that really touched me. Moving forward into the name, your name, and how that's important in the sound and the frequency of your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And astrology is a whole nother topic. People ask me all the time, what's your thoughts on astrology? I was in astrology so deep to the point where somebody was using it against me. Like literally, and I'm gonna go into that, but for the first portion of how I'm feeling right now, when we are called forward by the God within, first of all, to even be called forward by the God, this is my own personal opinion. This is my own personal opinion. For us even to be able to be called by the God within us is because we are wanting to become better than what we are. We are wanting to grow to our highest version of ourselves, the best version of ourselves. And so once you come to that understanding or that understanding and overstanding, you know, all of those words, right? You are now responsible to meet yourself. And then once you meet yourself, that then goes into a whole plethora of healing. And healing is so deep because it's a whole, your blood. Okay, how I look at astrology, I literally just see my blood, and that's why your name is so crazy. It's spot on. Your blood is everything that you need. That's the you. That's the God in you, your blood, right? This is the nectar. This is the nectar, right? So when meeting yourself, and you're going, you know, you're going through all of the healing, you're whatever in your blood. You have your mom, you have your dad, you have all of these other people, all of these other things that's in your blood that you have to heal from. And then once you transcend a certain portion of you healing yourself and all of these lineages, or this lineage that's in your blood, you now become responsible for the other people that you once came from and the people that is coming before you, whether you like it or not. And this is something that I haven't been struggling with it, but this is where I have met myself today, you know, and just as of recently, but today, that's when it really hit me. Once you are actively healing from certain things in your life, I remember one of the women, and shout out to all of the queens in the building, shout out to all of the kings, but for real, shout out to all of the queens in the building, because I was in a space earlier where I've actively been healing certain parts of me, and the queen, she said, you're gonna have to let go of people, you know, you're gonna have to, you know, let these people go. And I did that. At one point in time, I let all these people go. I was like, that's not my brother. That's not my, you know, in that sense, because they don't share the same mindset. They don't share the same frequency. But see, once I had went through a certain portion of my journey and continuing to actively heal, I actually was drawn back to these people. Like I was, now in my life, I'm standing in the face of these people and I'm seeing all of the things that I healed from come out of them. My only responsibility is to pass on the wisdom that I've already cultivated within myself through my healing process. Most of us may not think like we would continue to have a place in these people's lives because we feel like we've exceeded them, we've surpassed them, or we've grown, you know. But you truly haven't grown when you could be able to talk to your mama and give her that wisdom and actively see her apply that shit to her life and she be changed forever. That's the growth. When you can have children and you see their daddy coming out of them, you see their mama coming out of them, you see their grandma coming out of them, and then you could correct that through the wisdom that you have because you actively healed and you know, conjured everything that you needed from the God within you to overcome these things, and watch them never repeat those same mistakes. Now, on another note, the name, oh my God, brother, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna say this. I know we like the flute. I know we like the samba. I know we like these things, but for me, reality, life is, I'm not looking at it as just a flute. I'm not looking at you as just a man. Like I'm looking at a energy signature. Everything, even this house that I'm sitting in, it's an essence of my energy signature. So for me personally, when you play that flute, you're calling upon the God within me. Because this is where I'm from. The flute, the feathers, this jewelry that you have on, that is shamanistic. That is a part of my lineage, a part of who I am as an entity in my blood, right? So when I see these things and I feel these things, I'm like, yo, this is calling forth the men and the women. See, this is calling forth the men and the women who are supposed to usher us into this new world. We like to talk about this new world and say like, oh, well, this new world is going to consist of camps and stuff like that, and like Walmarts that are turned into these camps where they take us and put us in there and like try to do all of these different things. But what we really fail to realize is that we are the new world. We are the new world. So,
and we're creating that world that we perceive and that we want to believe in.
Exactly. So when I come into contact with other people like yourself who is saying you don't need crystals, you don't really need these things, you don't really need astrology to understand because it's already in your blood. When you close your eyes, you could tap, when you close your eyes and meditate, you could tap into you so deep, astrology won't ever be able to tell you. Astrology won't ever. There's so many constellations that's out that we don't even know about, that's congruent to our energy signature. We could never read that shit on a piece of paper. We could never pull that shit up on a calculator based off of our birth time. And don't get me wrong, like, I understand that it is a clue, but at some point it becomes a distraction, because now we're only talking about the ins and out of astrology when we should be talking about how are we going to continue the legacy. I'm not going to sit here and drive astrology into my children's mind when I know it got a cap. Nigga, you capping, period. There's a cap. So for me as a woman, because I've had these experiences in my life and I understand astrology so deep, I'm able to move away from it. I'm able to, and people ask me all the time, what's your take on astrology now? Why don't, because people, they be doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't do tarot readings. I don't do that stuff because I can close my eyes and come close to you and be able to read you like astrology never would, pick up on things that astrology never could. You know what I'm saying? And so I say that because it's like it becomes a distraction. Even going back to changing the name, this is my own personal opinion now. This is my own perspective. It goes back to the name change. For me, I did the name change. For 3 years, I changed my name, and I was really trying to figure out who am I. I went through the L, the Ali, the Bell, the Bay, the I went through that, right? It didn't dawn on me until my father actually transitioned, you know what I'm saying, like exit this reality, was when I knew that my name was a part of my energy signature, and it was something that I should hold as sacred, because whatever attached to my name, the energy signature that I am, is something that I have to embody wholeheartedly because of the mission that I have on this earth. And the purpose that I have that exceeds this mission that I have on this earth, that's going to heal and change anything around me that I've come into contact with and that I've came from. So I'm not going to sit up there and change my name because Velvet Gabriella is something that it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. Your name is powerful, even if you have a name that is of war. Understand where that comes from, where that stems from. Why is it that way? So that you can be able to heal these things. We can't act like there's not things in our blood that we have to heal from via our foremothers and our forefathers. That's the very reason why we on this live right now. That's the very reason why we talking about the things that we talking about right now, because other things are attached to you. Right. You know what I'm saying, Mama? And I just want to bring this into perspective. I had a conversation with my mom today, and I swear to God, I never thought I would have this conversation with my mom. My mom said, why me? Why does these things keep happening to me? Why does it feel like every time I get to a certain point in my life, or I heal a certain part of myself, it's like something comes back up? Because when you want better, when you seek better, and you're in a world that's going completely the opposite way, that's promoting everybody to do everything wrong and live backwards, you're going to have the utmost challenge, the utmost adversity, because you are testing yourself to see how bad you want it. You keep talking about how somebody else is hurting you, how somebody else challenged you, or whatever the case may be, and you fail to realize that that is an energy signature that's here to test you, to see how far you're going to grow outside of who you are in that moment and who you used to be. And people say, oh, it's hard. It's hard. Is it hard to become more love? Is that what you said? That's because that's the goal. The goal is to become more love, the highest frequency of love on this earth. And that's why people want to talk about heaven on earth being a fanatical place. No, heaven on earth is within you, and you can have that and make that exist and create that to exist on this earth if that's what you choose. But society has taught us how to limit our minds and limit our belief systems. But that's the world we was born into. That was just the word that we was born into. And as simply as I broke that down to my, as simply as I broke that down to my mom, and I told her, I said, in so much of a simple statement, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want heaven on earth? How bad do you want to change and become more love? How bad do you want to see more love in your world? In order for you to even manifest that, you have to become that. And the greatest challenges happen to the people who want the utmost out of life. And I have to come to terms with that, because I was beating myself up like, I'm such a good person. All I have is love to give. Yeah, well, how about I throw a monkey wrench and see if you continue to give that same love that you said that you give or that you gave. Let's see how much of a loving person you is. If somebody just completely slit your throat, let's see how much of a loving person you are then. And it isn't until we surpass these so big of it looks like it's big of an obstacle, isn't it until we surpass these things within ourselves that we actually begin to manifest this heaven on earth. I'm not stopping. I'm not letting up. It's all gas, no brakes. That's how I feel. That's my own personal opinion. That's what I think. Astrology is a small portion of what we got going on here as a collective. For real. We need to be tapping into who we are within our blood. That's why it's so important to cleanse our blood, because once we cleanse our blood, we're able to turn off certain genes that were mutated because of the things we were putting in and watching and via other people, places, and things that turned us into somebody that we are not naturally. And so I digress, because I also want someone else to come up and give their piece, but your blood is so important. Your blood attaches you to this reality. Literally.
Wow. That was that was very, very insightful. Very beautiful said. And I truly appreciate you for tapping in and expressing that.
I'm over here crying.
It's a few points that you made that I want to touch on. One, when you spoke about cycles and realizing that you're healing and improving yourself, yet you doing that is like, in a sense, attracting the beings that need improvement. And the reason why I want to touch on that is because that's the quote. I had posted that quote earlier today about nothing really leaves your life until you have been an example of learning the thing that you continue to experience. And once you realize that and you look at it from a bird's eye view, then now you have the power to change that. You know what I'm saying? You have the power to either improve your environment and or change your environment. So that's one thing I'm glad you touched on. Another thing you touched on was about, your name meaning war and how powerful your blood is. And I'm also glad you brought that up as well, because when I was speaking about earlier about, years ago, about me being in a situation and her name meant war, that's a powerful perspective that you brought up. And I'm glad you brought that up, because you just broadened my perspective, because now it's to the point where now it's like, wow. So even if somebody name do mean war, because nothing happens on accident, even if we think it's an accident. So right. Although your name mean war, that don't mean, oh, it's just out of the blue. Like, no, your name means war because It could be beings working through your parents or working through those beings that birth you to give you that name on a subconscious level. So now you can embody that name, heal the things that, like you said, that's in your blood. And then when we're talking about blood, right? I'm glad you brought that up as well, because those that say like I'm covered in the blood of Jesus, whatever the case may be, like, you know, all that you shall subscribe to, do that. However, my perspective is, why should I manifest or embody the fact of somebody else's blood is over me when my own blood is as pure and is the pure essence of what I need for me. You know what I'm saying? So for you to even bring that up, that broadened my perspective as well, because now when you brought that up, like I said, it made me think about the people that say, oh, well, you know, I'm covered in the blood of Jesus, you know, and I always, and subconsciously, I always feel some kind of way about that, because it's like, yo, my blood is pure. You know what I'm saying? Especially when I'm detoxing and cleansing it. You know, so why not say I'm covered in my blood? Like, my blood is giving me the power. You know what I mean? So it was, yeah, I just wanted to touch on a few points, because
I just gotta it brought me back to a point you was talking about when you said frequency. The frequency of God, the sound of God. And then somebody had asked, can you give me an example of the sound of God? And it's like, the whole parable of Jesus is the sound of God. When you understand the story of Jesus, right? And it's so crazy, because like one time I was having this conversation about Jesus and stuff like that, and somebody was like, you know, Jesus is a frequency, and yes, though he existed, there were other beings that were considered a Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we can't hold Jesus as like this wholehearted person, like this is the end all be all of us saving ourselves, because so many prophets. Jesus was amongst other prophets. You understand? He taught these other prophets. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when we tap into the like I said, when we tap into our blood, that's when we really start to unlock the things that we think is outside of ourselves, when it's sitting right here. It's sitting. People keep saying they rely on Jesus to do everything. That gives their power away, which leaves them in a state of
dependency.
You see what I'm saying? Stagnancy. They're not growing like that. These people are not practicing active ways to cleanse their blood, to cleanse their minds, so that they can truly, I'm talking about truly manifesting the reality that they want, rather than settling for what they think that God is supposed to give them. Even in the Bible, it says faith without works is dead. So all
Damn, God, is your phone breaking up? Oh, man. Your phone breaking up, Goddess.
Is it back? Is it back? No? Is it back?
Your phone breaking up,
Yes.
Goddess. We can hear you now. We can hear you now. I think. Oh, man.
No.
They go Instagram with their bullshit.
No.
Man, Instagram with that bullshit, man.
Are we back? Are we back?
We back? Yo, okay, we back. We got you.
We
got you. We back.
Do you understand?
But you know, also though, like, cause I see a few comments and we're talking about Jesus, right? And I see a few comments that, first off, we gotta understand that the letter J, first and foremost, is a brand new letter, right? On top of that, right, when you understand the history of certain beings, right, when we understand a certain history of certain beings, where they derive from, right, Jesus was pretty much a replica of different ancient beings, whatever the case may be. However, right, when we speak about devil, right, the devil real name is, you know, they call him Zeus, right? This is from Greek mythology. However, it also breaks down into other mythologies. However, I'm speaking from the recent mythology, which is the devil name is Zeus, right? Now, the devil also is depicted as the light, right? The light barrier, whatever the case may be. You can go in Revelations right now, and God himself is calling himself the light barrier as well. Now, when you break that down, and then we start understanding certain things. The devil name is Zeus. How do you say Jesus' name in Spanish? Jesus, right? So it's a lot of things we got to break down. And even when it speaks about the light, even when it speaks about being a light barrier, it also says in the Bible, right? It says the light of the body is in the eye. Therefore, if your eye is clear, your entire body will be full of light. So even when we stop reading and we start reading, we can also break down the fact on a deeper esoteric level that because of this programming, and they have us under this programming of the things that are for us is demonized, when we're not understanding that the light just means the light of the body. The light just means the light of the eye, right? You can read the, like, this is the purpose and why I emphasize, like, you have to read, you have to stop reading and you have to start reading.
This is true.
So
That's why it's important. That's why it's important to decalcify your eye.
Your eye.
But yes, I appreciate this bill with you, King. You have a blessed night. Sure. Or not even blessed.
Yeah, you have a beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? You see?
Yeah. The show. Well, I appreciate you for joining the community, Goddess. I truly do. I really appreciate you for being a part of the community, because like I always say, without the community, there is no community. You have a beautiful night, Goddess.
You too. You too.
Peace. Hey, I don't know about. Hey, listen, I don't know about y'all, but Velvet just said some shit, boy. I'm talking about Velvet just said some real slick shit, boy. You feel me? Like, boy, I'm talking about broke it. I'm talking about broke it down. Like, I'm talking about she broke it down. Like, but look, hey, real quick though, before it's getting late. Late, y'all. We good? We good? All right. It's getting late. We about to get up out of here. But real quick, I want y'all to understand something, right? When it comes to these community gatherings, to different with different comments and whatever the case may be, right? And even in life, right? We have to start looking at things from a bird's eye view and start realizing that it could be certain beings and certain entities that mean us no good that could be amongst us, right? And I'm just speaking in general, right? I'm not pinpointing anything or anyone, right? But you have to start realizing that it's different beings, especially when you're on your awakening journey, when you're on your healing journey, right? Beings come up and they tend to distract us, and I to distract us, and I posted as well that, you know, we have to stop blaming our distractions and we have to start improving our focus, right? We have to stop blaming our distractions and start improving our focus, because we understand the power of the 3, 6, and the 9. I'm gonna say that one more time. We have to stop blaming the distractions and start improving our focus. So when it comes to different beings and different energies, and they may send you different energy, or if you feel like somebody is sending you energy that mean you no good, or sending you energy that that you may not want, right? It's a powerful. I need y'all to understand that the laws of karma, right? It's true. So if somebody send you energy, right, or if you're feeling somebody is projecting certain energy towards you, right, this is my perspective and this is my suggestion. The worst thing that you want to do, right, the last thing you want to do is send that energy back out to them, because now it's just going to be a karmic cycle, right? You send it back, it come back to you, right? Then when it come back to you, you send it back. It's karma. It's the laws of nature. Now, the most powerful thing that you can do is, right, instead of sending that energy back, you can learn alchemy, right? You can take that energy that you may not want, right? You can alchemize, you can use alchemy, right? Energize it and convert it into the energy that you truly want to work for yourself, right? So just on a minuscule, right? Somebody say you can't do it, you'll never be this, you'll never be that, right? You take that energy, you go somewhere private, right? And this is called alchemy. You start manipulating that energy because you have that power, right? That's one of the reasons and the powers that we have to manipulate energy. You can manipulate that energy, and now you can speak into that energy. I am able to do that. I am capable. I am more than capable. Utilize that energy, right? So I just said that to say, just to put out another perspective, another practice to the community, that when you feel like you're receiving certain energy, when you feel like you're receiving certain distractions, and like I said, stop blaming the distractions, improve your focus. Take the energy, manipulate the energy, and utilize it to the best of your abilities, right? I speak about the movie. Doctor Strange all the time, and I always speak about the scene about how when he went against the laws of nature, the souls from the underworld tried to come and take him in, but yet he utilized the energy, he utilized alchemy, and he converted that energy, right? He converted that energy, controlled the energy, and now the energy that was once trying to take him, he's now controlling that energy to pursue and complete his mission on, what his focus was. So I pray y'all understood that. I pray y'all understood that. I truly appreciate y'all for tapping in. Y'all know we got to leave with prayer. All right. And then I got one last thing to say, and then we're going to get up out of here. All right. I give honor and thanks to the powers that be that have given me the position and the capabilities to obtain the knowledge that I have, to not only just obtain this knowledge, but convert this knowledge into wisdom, to not only teach myself, but the people, places, and things around me. I also send that same energy out to every being that's in this community, to not only be able to obtain the knowledge, but convert this knowledge into wisdom, to not only teach themselves, but the people, places, and things around them. I want to give honor and thanks and speak life and power into every being that's in this community, because I understand, and understand that without the community, there is no community. I also pray and in hopes that every word spoken tonight, every frequency, every vibration that was spoken tonight vibrated on the same frequency of love, light, power, and most importantly, truth. I give honor and thanks, and I speak life and power into the powers that be. Ashe, Asheyo, Amen, and Hare Krishna, and all of the above that you shall subscribe to. I got one more thing, and then we're going to get up out of here. I come as I am. I am who I am. Who I am not, I will never be. Love me for me, or do not love me at all. I am a great man, and I'm going to show you how great I am. I shall leave as I come. Peace.